Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
Patriots Unfiltered.
All right, we're back. We're in it. No open.
We are in it. We are in it.
Just like we're right into camp, day 2 of training camp here at Gillette Stadium. It's Paul Perillo, myself, Deuce and Evan will be here shortly as soon as availability's over. Practice just ended a few moments ago.
Yeah, another beautiful day out here. 2 for 2 with the weather.
A little windy, but a beautiful day out there. So let's get right into it, Paul, because we've got 2 days to kind of wrap up here on this show. I would say that attendance is good. Good to see that. I'd say in terms of the offense, that's the first thing I'm sure on people's minds. Little, off and on, little rocky.
Yeah, I would say when the passes are getting thrown in general, they're getting completed, which is good. It doesn't look like there's a lot of confusion in terms of, route running and alignment and things like that. So I would say those are things on the positive side. There have been times I think that some of these plays probably would have been blown up with pressure, but I don't worry about that stuff yet. I'm not going to tell you I'm not worried about it.
Yep.
I'm just saying yet because of the obvious. Your shorts and helmets on Wednesday. Today I think they had shells on, but it's very hard to gauge how much the pass rush is a result of not being able to really have contact. So I would say that Harold Landry, Kayvon Chason on Wednesday in particular, those guys were constant presence in the backfield on a lot of plays. And I think they disrupted things. But overall, I think a good start. Good, not great. Good start for the offense.
Well, I think today what they were working on was the short passing
game.
Yeah,
a lot of quick stuff
when
today.
there was pressure. I think they were sending pressure to test out that short passing game, getting rid of the ball.
Yeah. I would agree with you that was the goal. I would say it was a little choppy.
Yeah.
Some of them that I looked like exactly the way Fred just described it. They wanted the ball out immediately, and Drake wasn't able to get it out immediately because either there was someone in his face or the guy wasn't open.
Yep.
So he was sort of double clutching a little bit. But
like you said, I think pretty much everything he threw except for one.
I could count on one hand the amount of incompletions the last 2 days.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that in a real game they would be, because like you said, sometimes the guy's there and the ball's thrown anyway.
And a lot of the completions today, especially like Fred said, were really short.
Yeah.
A lot of short stuff.
But I think if you're wondering how Kyle Williams is doing, I think he showed up yesterday, had a couple good catches. I think a couple of them were against Gonzo, right?
Yeah, he had one in particular. I think he ran Gonzo off, a little bit of a comeback out, depending on how you want to classify it, a comeback route on the sideline. And it looked like he did a good job of separating from Gonzo, went up, made a nice strong hands catch on the sideline. Today, not as good, had a couple drops. He had one drop in team and then mishandled a punt, trying to do some punt return stuff. But, I would say that Kyle Williams definitely was a presence on the first day of camp.
Pop had a nice sideline
Pop
catch
had a
today,
good day today,
high.
Yeah.
So that was good to see.
Seems like Drake is really trying to. The idea is to try to get the ball in as many different receivers' hands as possible.
Offensive line, I know that got a lot of the headlines yesterday because of the pressure that was happening. Morgan Moses might have had a little bit of a rough day yesterday. I wouldn't make too much of a big thing about it, but something I noticed today with Campbell.
Oh, I'm interested in this.
Yeah, where he was lining up. I think he'd be flagged during a game.
You think he had alignment issues?
I think he was too much off the line, and I think that caused him problems because in his drop step, because he was starting so far back, by the time he set, he was right next to Drake May.
I'm going to try to keep an eye on that.
I think you need to get your point of contact a little sooner than that. I think it started with where he was lined up, and then, like I said, his drop step, where he would eventually set and have his point of contact, his back was almost touching Drake May. You don't want that. You want a little bit of space there.
I definitely thought there was some issue with Morgan Moses at times with that Kansas City Chiefs. Is it Jawan Taylor? I forget the guy's name.
He was
the tackle
always
for Kansas City,
up.
the right tackle that always beats the snap.
Yep.
I thought Morgan Moses was doing a lot of that today.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that was, a result of getting beat by Harold Landry a lot yesterday.
No,
but those are things when the pads come on, we can really focus on.
Yeah.
But the alignment thing is interesting because that doesn't matter about pads.
I was like, he was a little bit further back than I think. But what do I know? I'm looking at it from the ramp. But I did have my binoculars. What I do like about Campbell is his feet. He's really, he's 6'5", and short arms. Forget about that. He's a big guy, and he moves a lot smaller than his size. He's a lot
he has
quicker.
Good feet. Yeah.
He's a lot quicker than his size.
He has good feet, no doubt. But it's going to be a learning curve.
Sure.
I think both of those guys struggled a little bit with the edge guys. Chason was pretty good yesterday.
Okay. All right.
So that's the way I choose to. You know me, positive Paul. Start of camp, fresh.
Yeah.
I look at the defensive line was supposed to be much improved, and we've kind of seen those guys be active in the pass rush.
Yep. So you can look at it either way, like you said. Yesterday, there was a big dog adoption thing going on. Players brought up puppies, and the team teamed up with 3 animal shelter, big name, I think the Rescue League, and I forget the name of the other 2, but they had 40 dogs here. Every one of them got adopted, and it was pretty cool. The owner was here with his wife, Dana, and that's going to be sort of an initiative going forward with the team is finding these dogs homes. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess everybody thought it was very well received. I know a lot of people
who doesn't love dogs except for you?
Yeah. I mean, I know we got to take the obligatory shot, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It was a good day for the organization.
Yep. Really nice. Stephon Diggs was kind of the star there. The dog he was bringing up, he decided to let it down, and the dog ran away from him. So
and we panicked because he was like on the other side of the fence, and it's kind of like
on a
uneven, terrain.
Right.
Like, oh boy, he's going to end up twisting an ankle or something worse.
But if you're wondering how he's looking good.
I think he's running really, really well. I don't think you'd really know that he was coming off a torn ACL. Now, we'll see what happens when he starts getting hit and all that stuff. But right now, I would say that's probably the most positive development of camp.
Yep.
Is his presence, and not just that he's out there, but how he looks.
Yep. I'm like I said on our last show, I'm pleasantly surprised that he's out there full tilt, and I'm surprised at how good he looks. So that's good news. That's really good news. Something to monitor that happened today. Christian Barmore off to the side a little bit, working with a trainer. I don't know what that was all about. I mean, he passed his conditioning run, so...
Well, he was in, so, that's good that you brought that up because I do think that's an element of today's practice. That's a takeaway. He opened the first team period at his normal spot. It was him and Milton Williams sandwiched around Karice Tonga. And those 3 took part in the first team period, probably six or so plays. Then Barmore came out, and as practice progressed, he was on the left field. Now, all this work took place on the right side.
Yep.
He was on the left field with one of the, I'm going to call him Joe Kim, but I know Joe Kim's not here anymore. But someone like that had like those arm pads, working on hand placement. So I don't know if he was rehabbing any kind of an injury or if it was...
It could be he just asked for some extra help.
Or if he just, was dealing with something, so they were making it slow for him. But I think we got a guest, so we'll stop yapping and make way.
Oh, it's Big Mike.
Make way for
What's
Big
up?
Mike.
Mike Onwenu. How you doing? Just sit right here, wherever you want to sit. You tell me where you want to sit. I'm not telling you. You've never been in here, right?
Never been in here.
Oh, well, welcome to the...
As Fred says, please feel free to visit us anytime you'd like.
I would love to.
Yeah.
The door is always
open. If you
open.
want to do your own podcast, we'll do that for you.
Bet.
Yeah.
Bet.
So I'm Fred Kirsch, this is Paul Perillo.
Yes, sir.
Mike Onwenu, thanks for joining us.
Cool.
Right off the practice field.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going good. I feel good. This
Yeah.
is day 3.
Yeah.
I'm really just excited to keep going. Really put the pads on.
Day 3 for you, day 2 for the public.
For the scribes.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. So things are going good.
Mm-hmm.
A question I have for you, because I don't know if you've been watching the Forge in Foxborough documentary that we've been putting out.
Yeah.
Doug Marrone was talking about the two other coaches that he works with, Cougs and Haas, and he said it's three voices, but we're all on the same page.
Yes.
How does that work for you? Does like one of them focus more on the interior? Like, how is it working with those three coaches?
It's been great, really. They're all really knowledgeable, or all three of them. They kind of split it up day to day, or sometimes Hoss takes the interior, sometimes Cougs take the tackles, sometimes Coach Marrone takes the interior. So, I mean, it's just kind of day to day, but we're all preaching the same things and coaching the same things. But it's good to get the insight. Also, it's three eyes looking at your technique, looking at yourself, and just, you get that insight of what you're doing, whether it's right or wrong, and, going to the practice field and making sure you're getting those on the field, make sure you're getting those reps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, you get some new guys, on either side of you, with Garrett Bradbury and Morgan Moses. Just how's that progression come, and, the comfort level for you guys?
I'm very comfortable. I think we've all played a lot of football. So, I mean, as of, coming into the spring and coming into the season, we've been communicating, really just getting on the same page and making sure we understand each other. And so far, we've been feeling great. I've been feeling good about where I am and where they are. So
that's a lot of experience between the three of you.
For sure.
It
is.
Yeah. So is that a comfort thing? Like, you're quicker to be on the same page?
Yeah, I would say so. We all see the same things through the same set of eyes. So it's not like you got a second guess. I know where Garrett is going to be. I know where Mo is going to be. If we got a blitz off the edge, I know he's going to extend. So it's like, I can put myself in position.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the offseason like for you? Did you do anything different this year? You've been around a little bit now. We're going to call you a veteran now because you've been around.
Everything, yeah.
The summer was the same. It really just worked out. Kept busy. I was here in the spring and summer, so, I felt good. I really was just excited about coming back and having everybody back together. Those spring practices were good. It was mostly pass. So, I mean, it feels good to run the ball now and get out and run.
Yeah. So do you, as an offensive lineman, look forward to the first day in pads as much as we do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
camp starts Monday for you guys.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think on Saturday we're in full pads.
Oh,
so.
okay.
Oh, is that right?
Oh.
Don't quote me, but I think so, yeah.
I got to tell everybody.
Oh.
I mean, our cameras, because I know we're planning to do a live show on the first day of pads. But
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, we might have just broken some news here on Patriots Unfiltered. But yeah, I would imagine for you guys, we keep talking about, well, it looks like Harold Landry and Caleb Von Chasen, they're coming off the edges, but we always say it's just so unfair for you guys to try to like really physically pass block when you're not wearing pads.
Yeah.
Just how difficult of a challenge is that for you guys to work on technique?
I'm not going to say it's difficult, but I mean, we've been going against each other from the spring. We know that those guys have speed. Also, it doesn't help that they know our cadences, know our snap counts. When we run, we say our snap counts, so it's not that hard to time it. But obviously, that makes us better and gets us better for our opponents that are doing the same thing. So they're using it as an advantage, and we are using it as an advantage as well, getting off the ball and make sure we're getting off the snap on time.
That's awesome. So, once the practice is over, how's that been for you? The meetings, This is the first year with Mike Vrabel and his staff. Do you see any difference, or is that just routine?
I think it's been routine. One big difference, I think we've been practicing earlier this year, so I think a lot of guys are liking that. You kind of come in, get your mind right, get ready to practice, and then the rest of the evening is watching the film, installs and stuff. So it allows us to have a little bit of time and not practicing during the hottest part of the day. But we get our work in, and then we get to improve and get the corrections.
Okay.
Some of the rookies, you got obviously Will on the left side, but you get some other new guys in there. Jared Wilson has been, I see, coming in and out of the lineup. What have your impressions been with some of the new guys?
Yeah, really, I'm impressed by all of them. I think they all have talent. They all can play. I really like them. Really from top to bottom, all of the rookies, and especially in my room as well. But Jag, Makai, Marcus, like really everybody can play, and they all have talent. So I really just can't wait to put the pads on for them to just let it roll.
Yep.
I guess we have to kind of ask you, just your impressions of Drake.
Yeah.
By comparison, as a rookie, came in sort of, taking a backseat to Jacoby last year. What have you seen different about his approach as the starter?
Yeah. Drake has always been the same guy. I think really, he leads by example. He's vocal as well, but, really just from the huddle, from the snap, at the line of scrimmage and really just in the workouts, always positive energy. You don't want to get things wrong because you don't want to disappoint Drake. So I mean, I think that's for everybody. Me as a line included, or a lineman included. You want to do your best and obviously do the right things on the line.
So when you're out there, it's my final question because I know you got to get going. Do you ever glance over to that building that they're building over there and say, "Oh, that's where we're going to be next year"?
Yeah, we had walkthroughs yesterday. It was a little weird just looking to the left, and I'm just like, man, it's a whole big building right here. I mean, usually or last year, it was just trees in the background, but it's cool. We'll be able to come out and come on our grass field and just be able to do walkthroughs or really just get some grounding, get on the grass.
I've seen some of the mock-ups. It's going to be pretty cool in there.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. I can't wait.
All right, Mike, we'll let you get back to it. We appreciate you stopping by. Anytime, this is where we are.
I'll be here. I'll be here.
All right.
Thank you,
sir.
Thanks, Mike.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mike Onwenu, coming off the practice field and joining us here in Patriots Unfiltered. Oh,
That's all right. Mike Dussault sits in that seat. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He doesn't count.
All right.
No, it's just interesting. I kind of, as we were talking to him, I was thinking, like, how young the left side could be.
Yep.
But at the flip side, how experienced the other side. And I think if you had Garrett Bradbury or Jared Wilson, how much that changes the dynamic.
Yeah.
Because you got, obviously, Moses, 34 years old.
Yeah.
Mike's been around now. What's it, sixth year for Mike?
2020. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fifth year?
Yeah.
Well, 21,
Sixth.
2, 3. Yeah.
6 years.
So, there's a lot of experience from the middle to the right, but not as much, even if it's Cole Strange, not as much to the left.
Yeah. You traded mics.
Hey, Mike.
You get a little mic. I feel
you
like
get a little
Mike.
sweady, or just switch chairs?
No, it's fine. I like it.
I like
Makes
it.
me feel like I got involved in
You
practice.
got some of his DNA.
Not creepy at all?
I don't have that dog in me yet. No, I was hung around, listening to some of the interviews, and Morgan Moses was interesting. They asked him about the rotation going on. He said, I'm not really paying attention to it. Obviously, they have some younger guys they want to get some reps too, but I don't know what it's about. And he said, I did say this is a new offense for me, so I'm learning a little bit. One other line I thought was good. He's like, man, these guys, they got no pads on. We had nothing to grab onto. We can't stop them. So, a couple little nuggets there from Morgan Moses.
Mike was similar on that. We were talking about it a little bit, just saying it's not even just that we can't hit them. It's they're familiar with what we're doing, our alignments, our cadence. So they're getting a jump.
Yeah. No, good stuff. Kendrick Bourne talking a little bit about Josh McDaniels, the return of the offense. Of course, everybody wants to know what's different. What has changed? And Kendrick's point of view on it was that he's got some different coaches and philosophies around him now. So that's what's altering the scheme a little bit. It's still the fundamental basis of it is Josh McDaniels and the language that he speaks offensively. But I think we'll have to wait and see what the influence is of guys from the Rams and guys from all the different trees. So good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, I was interested because in the documentary, Marone mentions he's got the other two assistants. He's got Haas and he's got Cougs.
Yeah.
And, they all could be the head line coach on their own. So you've got these three voices, but they're speaking as one. And Mike confirmed that. He said, it's really good. Sometimes you're working with one, sometimes you're working with the other and getting technique tips and whatever, but it's all the same message.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that Haas guy. I like listening to him. He seems like I said, offensive line coach through and through, just that loud
Jason
voice.
Houdeling.
Yeah, Jason Houdeling, Haas. Of course, they got the nicknames and everything, but I hope it all comes together. This is what we've been talking about. Diggs, I think, has shown up positively the first couple of days, and I think Drake has shown up positively. Seems like he's grasping things. It isn't stops and starts and all that kind of stuff. And now we wait to see.
Yeah, would you agree today it was a lot of underneath, under pressure type of passing?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And as Evan actually asked Moses about, it seemed like you guys were sending a lot of pressure at you today.
Yes.
They were sending some blitzes today too. So I think that's part of Josh's offense is getting the ball out quick, the little swing passes. We saw James White and plenty of other players feast off of that kind of stuff.
Well, listen, if I'm an opposing team defensive coordinator, I'm testing out this second-year quarterback. I'm going to send pressure at him.
Yeah,
more than maybe I would usually.
Yeah, I think I got Paul in my head now, though, where it's like, okay, it's good. We're completing a lot of passes, around, getting the ball out quick. Let's find some big plays now. Let's start to hunt that stuff as the week progresses.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and I would agree with Fred that today it clearly looked like the goal was to get the ball out quick and go for the underneath stuff against pressure. Yep. And I think that's what they were supposed to do. I just felt like there was a lot of double pumping on some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like guys weren't uncovering quickly enough.
Sure.
More so than the pressure, I thought it was the coverage.
Yeah, I would
today.
100% agree with that. There were a couple times. I mean, I guess it was one of the first plays there in the third series where Drake had to tuck and run up the middle.
Yep.
Just didn't seem like anybody was open. But it seemed like a pretty good day for Pop Douglas, who that's where he should be feasting, right?
I thought he was. Yeah. I thought he was good today. I thought he was getting open quickly, and he made a terrific catch on the sideline. But I thought the bread and butter stuff is the quick hitters. You know, he's going to uncover quickly. And the passes for the most part for 2 days are being complete.
Yep.
So that's what you want to see.
Evan Lazar joins us as well. Hello, Evan.
Evan has returned from practice. Evan has returned from practice. Yeah, Evan has returned from practice. What was the mood? Who wasn't there? What did he see?
So, Evan, I want to ask you, and you can go freeform after this question, but I was talking with Paul before Mike got here, and I had my eyes on Campbell for a little bit.
66.
And would you say that he was lining up a little bit too far back? Might he have been flagged for that in a real game? And I'm wondering, because of that, when he was doing his drop and when he got to his set, I thought he was just too close to Drake. What did you think?
I thought there were some times where that might have been the case. I don't know about if he was going to be flagged for where he was lining up. It's kind of hard to tell without
the
seeing
angle,
it right down the line. But I think right now, and for any young player, pretty much all of them probably, he's trying to figure out like where his set points are going to be at this level. Where what worked in college, but this is a different game, and it was something that in college, he would often get opened up a little bit too quickly, and that would allow guys to swim inside of him, cross his face and get inside. So I bet you there's some tinkering going on with his stance, with his feet, with his set points of where exactly he's going to hit his landmarks. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of progress here. But we were just talking to Morgan Moses after practice, and I asked him, what do you tell the young guys about these non-padded practices? And he said, don't get discouraged because we got nothing to hold on to. Like there's no pads.
We had Mike Onwenu in here, and he said the same thing.
Yeah, they're in these practice jerseys, and they're slippery, and they're hard to get your hands on them like that. So don't get discouraged that you might be missing some blocks that you think you should be making, because once the pads go on, it's a different game.
Yeah, we did have Mike here, and we were talking about the three coaches that are involved with the offensive line, and he agreed with what Doug Marrone said in Forge and Foxborough, that it's great having all three. They all speak the same, and it's the same message, even though you might be working with a different one day than another. He's really liking it. He finds it really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the tipping point of the team is if they can block.
I know. It all starts there.
Because I think the rest of the pieces that they have will be good enough, and especially with Josh back, I think he'll be able to get guys open, and he'll be able to game plan and do all that stuff to move the football. Can they block? Can they hold up front? And they seem to be really trying to find a home for Jared Wilson as well. I think they just look at his talent and are like, this is a talent upgrade if we can find a spot for him, whether it's at center or it's at left guard. So there's still some tinkering there with the lineups, and as it is right now, it's hard to kind of say how the results are in non-padded practices, but that's it. That's the X factor.
Yeah, I saw Wilson, and he came in one play and had a bad snap.
Yeah,
it was too bad for him. And
yeah.
Did you see that?
We're unsure on that.
I'm almost positive it was Bradbury.
Really?
There was some debate in the.
I think Wilson.
Okay.
I think Wilson was at left guard on that play.
I'm sorry, Jared Wilson, if I got you wrong.
But I'm not positive. There was a couple other people, and then Mike and I were really watching the rotations from that point on for the ensuing team periods, and it would be Bradbury at center, and then Wilson would come in at left guard for a play for Strange. And then the next play, Bradbury would leave, Wilson would go to center, Strange would return. And I could swear the play that there was a fumbled snap on, after the play, Bradbury was among the linemen that was running off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tough to tell.
All right, maybe
so
I'm wrong.
I can't tell you definitively with 1,000% certainty, but I think it was Bradbury.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was a couple other people that thought what you guys.
Yeah,
thought.
I thought it was Wilson too, but you could be right. Maybe he was at left guard and it just happened fast.
Right, and you just see him coming from that direction.
Right,
yeah.
but either way, there was an aborted snap.
Yeah.
Whoever it was on, it doesn't really matter. There was an aborted snap, but I mean, I know that it gets boring talking about the offensive line sometimes, but for this team, like that's it.
Not any
It's
more
make
boring
or
than
break.
anything else.
Well, I was just thinking about Onwenu. I mean, he's had a different offensive line coach every single year of his career. It's
Yep.
changed every single year. It's got to add up. It's not easy to do.
Are we up to
And
7
One
years
year
in
he
a
may
row
not
now?
even have had a
So,
coach.
Yeah. I know.
I've been
Well,
David Andrews and James Farron.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Crazy.
We talked a little bit about the wide receivers. Williams had a good day yesterday, a little less so today. Pop Douglas had a nice catch today. After I asked you, how's Efton Chisholm doing, you said, well, he hasn't done much yet. He came in and had a
Had a
nice
catch, yep.
pass down the field there where he found a soft spot and had a catch.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. No, another good day. They're completing passes. Thought Travion Henderson, you saw a little glimpse of the potential he might have just coming out of the backfield on the swing passes and that kind of thing. Ramondre Stevenson right back in the mix, as you would think he would be. But I mean, I think it's fair to point out. I went on the radio this morning to talk about the rotation, and everyone said, "Oh, Moses was pulled for performance." Well, now that's not true.
In fairness, one person said that. The person who was interviewing was the only person that
okay.
I didn't read anybody say that. I didn't read. I didn't hear anybody say that, except for the question that you got hit right out of the chute with this morning
and I mean,
on one of my shows.
I think we're all excited for the stability that Morgan Moses could potentially represent, but it's also real positive if this team sees some potential in Trey Jacobs. And, I mean, Morgan Moses isn't going to be the long-term solution, even if he has a great year this year. So the fact that they're keeping that door open and continuing to get DeMontre Jacobs reps, I mean, I know he had a bad year last year amongst everybody having a bad year, but if they were to somehow get him on track and solve that problem at right tackle for the long term with Trey Jacobs, then that's a bigger positive to me than, if Morgan Moses has one good year.
That's a good
Now that's some Patriots.com positivity right there.
Sure. I was, like I said, if Moses actually gets beat out by Jacobs, Moses isn't a bad backup.
Well, I mean,
Oh boy.
Oh
boy.
Tremendous optimism here.
But seriously,
if
why would they give
your
him first-
34-year-old veteran isn't as good as what they had last year, we're spinning that as a positive?
Well, I'm just saying, if this guy beats him out, legitimately beats him out,
Yes.
he's improved.
Yes. You think that's good?
Yeah.
But
But
why
you
do
saw
think-
the guy play. Like Jared Wilson, if he beats out Bradbury, that's good. He's an incoming rookie. We've never seen him play. If he's better than a veteran,
Okay.
that's good.
But
We've seen Trey Jacobs
I know,
play.
but he can't have improved from,
If he's better than Morgan Moses, that's not good.
They're in trouble.
I actually look at it as I'm a little disappointed we're not seeing
All right,
Caden
let me-
Wallace
let
get
me
those
ask you a
opportunities
question. Do
to
you
be the
think-
swing tackle.
Do you think Morgan Moses is good?
Yes.
Yes.
So if he beats him out, isn't that a good thing?
That means
No,
he's
'cause
not.
It means Morgan Moses went the wrong way.
Right. It means he hit the he,
I
he-
guess, I
he
guess
hit
you
the
could,
wall.
I guess you could look at it that way.
Now I'm
why
not.
do you guys think
no,
they're giving
I'm
him
with
first team reps, though? I mean,
I'm
you
with
guys are
Mike.
looking like, oh my God, it's a disaster. Like they are from
so-
day
so
one.
you
giving
keep-
him
you keep
opportunities.
saying that.
Because I think Morgan Moses is on a pitch count right now.
nothing
Yeah,
else.
you keep saying that like you guys are saying that. I'm not saying anything about Morgan Moses' performance.
No, I'm doing
in
the body
shorts.
language of Evan, like, oh my God, Jerry Jacobs, that would be an absolute,
but I'm with him. Like, so I think that based on what you saw, like if Vidarian Lowe and Trey Jacobs have to play, that's not good.
Well,
That's not good.
But is the book necessarily completely written on Trey Jacobs?
I would
is he
say
that bad
yeah.
and he's that untalented.
I mean, am I going to say that
there's-
he can't improve at all? No, of course not. He could improve some, but that's not good enough.
Yeah.
I don't think you make that kind of a meteoric rise from what we saw last year to he's a serviceable right tackle of the future.
Yeah. Okay.
That to me would be an
But
astronomical
it's-
turnaround.
I hate judging these guys from last year because they were all like it was just all bad. Like and
Right.
as
right,
we
but
know,
why can't an
Jacobs
individual
was-
play well?
He was also cut by another team and picked up by the Patriots in season.
all right.
So I'm not trying to pick on him. I'm just like,
I want to caution against that too.
yeah, like I'm not trying to pick on Trey Jacobs individually, but to Paul's point, as a whole, you hope that the guys you brought in this year are better than the guys that you brought in
and I hear
last
you.
year.
And I certainly hear you about the center. If Wilson can come in and earn that spot, that's a good thing.
See now,
100%.
and that's another part of it is Morgan Moses is by all accounts, a solid right tackle in the NFL. Bradbury last year was considered one of the worst centers in the NFL.
Okay, so now I want to talk about that for a
So if
second,
Jared
though.
Wilson comes in as a rookie who's never played yet and is better than that, I'm okay with that. I
Yeah.
think that's a positive development.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong about Bradbury last year. There was one category of his stats in passing situations where he graded like one of the worst.
I mean, he was something like 58 out of 64 centers, something like that.
in that category.
No. Overall, his grade.
Well, obviously the passing blocking grades
Sure,
gonna have
that's important.
more emphasis
Right.
on run blocking. He's an athletic center, but he's undersized.
Yeah.
He's undersized, and play strength and size in general.
How long has he been
a
in the
concern.
league?
6-7 years.
And he's been a starter for most of those
Yeah,
years.
and he was an early draft pick.
Yeah.
He's a very dynamic
and he could be
athlete.
done.
Maybe. Okay.
There's a reason why they wanted to move on from him, and they targeted a center to replace him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he can be targeted. You know, if you have a really good interior pass rusher, then a lot of teams will target him, by putting them straight up over the center. But I feel bad about making fun of Trey Jacobs.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not trying.
I
to,
want to
I'm
caution against that too. I'm not like. There's always outliers and things he can start off at a spot and then improve to the point where Mike could be right and say like, well, that's a really positive development. Like you didn't expect this kind of improvement. Now all of a sudden he's like Tom Ashworth or some guy who really started at a low level and really got good to the point where he was more than adequate, and that could happen. So I agree with that, but I don't want a big. But based on what I saw last year, I don't want Vidarian Lowe and Trey Jacobs having to start at tackle.
Like those two, just whatever metric you want to use, they graded out as two of the worst starting tackles in football last year. And you bring in Will Campbell, and I'd say the same thing about Will Campbell against Vidarian Lowe. Like Will Campbell definitely should beat out Vidarian Lowe. Like that shouldn't even be a question, right? And I'd say the same thing with Moses and Trey Jacobs. But I'm not like worried about Moses at all. I think he's on a pitch count, maybe a little bit here early as a veteran that had a knee injury last year, and they're sort of easing him back into things. And he's maybe a little bit rusty as a result because he hasn't had the reps yet.
Yeah, and I will state that emphatically, Mike, because I know that you did get hit with something today. And I'm just saying, Mike was on the Sports Hub this morning.
Mike.
No, he did. Mike got on the Sports Hub this morning, and
the
the first thing out of the chute, it was like,
Is Will Campbell's arms too short?
Morgan
disaster.
Moses is being replaced for performance, I think that's ridiculous.
I heard it too.
Okay, so I don't think that's what happened. I agree with Evan. I agree with Mike. I think there's clearly have some things that they want to do, and they're rotating guys.
Where did they get that from?
Somebody must have been.
The offensive line struggled yesterday.
He didn't have a good practice.
And he didn't practice well. Harold Landry was running around him yesterday.
Yeah.
But today, there was nobody really running around him, and yet he still rotated out.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was a performance thing. I think that's a big leap to say that he was yanked for performance.
I think one of the things that listening to Moses today and then actually Stephon Diggs yesterday that stands out to me, but with two guys that are proven veterans in this league that don't have to build confidence and don't have to come out of the gate. Like the way that they've talked about like the marathon that this is and not the sprint. And Stephon Diggs yesterday was like, it's day one. Who cares? We went out there and we put the work in, and you guys are gonna do what you do. But in terms of reporters, but he said that was his message to all the younger guys in the wide receiver room is like, this is the first day. Let's not people were asking him questions like, what's his chemistry like with Drake May, and he's like, it's day one. Ask me in a month. And I feel like with these guys like Moses and Diggs, they just have a comfort level and a confidence already in the league that they don't need to come out, like a rookie or a second-year player and be like, I'm the man, right? They already know they're the man. So just give it some time.
I think part of this for me, I would relate it to my Jalen Polk take, which hasn't taken a great turn the first 2 days, but I guess I'm still reserving some optimism for guys who weren't that great last year because of a new coaching staff and a new system, and I haven't closed the door on guys that had bad seasons last year. I'm still going to allow them to miss the first two days of practice, not a great sign. Not I might have to walk that back, but at the same time, I still think that some of these guys could blossom, and that's where I live with my analysis. I'm not,
I think that's more than fair, Mike. And I would say, I was in your shoes yesterday during our live show during practice about Kyle Duggar. And I think everybody is completely given up on Kyle Duggar, and that's okay. I remember just a couple of years ago where he was making a lot of plays. I think with a better coaching staff and a better scheme, maybe he goes back to that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe maybe he's banged up a little bit. Maybe he doesn't quite have the mobility and athleticism that he had coming out, and maybe he's done. Who knows?
I think next guy up in these early practices, I know it's early, but it does mean something. Who is the next guy to come in after, the supposed ones? And the fact that it's, whoever it is, it's like, okay, they're giving him some reps early, which we've always seen through history. That's a sign.
Yeah. So they start to get more as the thing goes on. I don't know. I mean, I get what Evan's getting at, that it's just he's the guy. He's the next guy up right now. I guess Vidarian Lowe's going to probably stay on the left side anyway. But, we've seen some flipping even with Marcus Bryant. He played a little left tackle, a little right tackle. They're filling him out as well.
I'll give you that one. If Marcus Bryant,
because he hasn't
was
been
in that role,
yet.
I would feel better about it.
But I feel like
And that's very nitpicky.
Are on the same page in terms of Kyle Duggar, Jabril Peppers, Ramondre Stevenson, even Mike Onwenu, like those guys that had quote unquote down years last year. I'm willing to bet that they're closer to the players that they were.
Because you've seen them have good years.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's just all it is. But it's interesting with that is, they brought a lot of those guys back, and it didn't work out last year. Paul was right, at least for one season.
Oh, he's been right way too much.
So let's see what happens, though. If those guys all play to their contracts this year, then we kind of have our answer about what last year was all about.
But overall, I would say I'm with Mike in terms of the optimism with the coaching and the changes in the schemes and just a better, just have a comfort level that I didn't have last year. I didn't have the faith last year, and I do have some faith now. What that means, does that mean they're going to win 12 games like some people are predicting? I don't think so, but I do think that they will be better, and I think that they're going to, without question, be more well coached.
I just have to say, generally speaking, the way the offense has just looked, and I know there have been some issues, but it's encouraging to me. I've seen a lot of bad offensive football in training camp over the last few years, and for the first few days where Drake's starting, his comfort within the offense, I think it's a really positive start for these guys. Seeing Diggs active, you mentioned Kyle Williams had a drop pass, had a drop punt catch as well. But I think there's a lot of positive coming out of these first couple of days, especially for Drake, for Josh. And look, that's what we talk about all the time. They have to be able to put points on the board. 2 days in, what does it mean? We'll see. But as much as you can ask for, it's not. There are a couple of mistakes today. I mean, we talked about the dropped snap. But still, I think that there's a lot of really good things happening out there.
I think the only nitpick that I would have on the offense so far is it's a lot of short stuff.
Sure.
And it's a lot of underneath, and it's a lot of quick game. And that's Josh McDaniels. Like, some of that's going to be the system, and it's going to be a lot of short and intermediate throws. I saw Mike Reese, tweeted out something that I hadn't really thought of as some spin, because, it's Mike Reese. He said that, maybe that's a way to turn down the turnovers for Drake May, right? Like, if you're finding efficient completions, then you're not, necessarily putting the ball in harm's way. But I just thought that there were times where he was looking downfield and he wanted to let it go down the field today, and there just wasn't really much going on to get the ball to push it down the field. He also had a couple of those checkdowns that Paul hates, where he's like kind of like,
One of them got knocked down by Jeremiah Farms.
And I don't.
Do you notice what I'm talking about with that? He throws it at a different velocity.
I don't mind it when he's like, if he's running and he's trying to pull the defense with him and then he kind of just flips it, that's different. But when he does it and it's kind of just like an afterthought, he's just like, oh, no one's open downfield, I'm just going to check it down. I actually think Vrabel might have coached him up on it after the last team.
So that was one thing he said yesterday that I really got excited about, was they asked him what some of the things he's working on, and kind of what Evan's talking about is one of the things he's working on, sort of remaining a passer as on scrambles. When he gets out of the pocket, that's kind of, to use Evan's term, his superpower. He has the ability to make big plays by sort of, and like the phrase, like quarterbacks sometimes throw a receiver open. Well, he can scramble a receiver open. He did it a few times last year.
But you got to keep your eyes downfield.
Remember the one to Hunter Henry that he had, like, you just kind of ran around. He dumped it to him for like a 30-yard, nobody anywhere near.
Unfortunately, it was in the blow up, but the one in Miami was
that was a touchdown.
That was the one I've been
Austin
waiting.
Hooper,
I had
right?
been waiting since May to see, no pun intended, to see him do, and unfortunately, it just came in a game where they were getting smoked.
So that was one of the things he's like sort of consciously, and I do think that's a Vrabel
and maybe that's where the big plays come from.
impact.
Like, I don't know if they have
Influence.
the weapons on the outside to make big plays organically within the offense. So the big plays might have to come from Drake. You know, him scrambling, him, in playground mode and creating out of the pocket.
Yeah, the phrase that kept popping into my mind was something that they actually had enforced of just take the profit, Drake. You know, and that was something that Josh McDaniels said, and that's how it felt today. I don't know how managed it was because it felt intentional and not, just take what's there. It seemed kind of this is what they were working on, but I think it's a good sign. You're seeing stuff the coaches are talking about, and then today, efficient, getting the ball out. It's good.
I will say I would like to see, and everything offensively I think has been largely positive so far. You know, couple of days in shorts and whatnot. This is what's supposed to happen, but it is. A couple of false starts here and there. You know, we mentioned the fumbled snap. I like to clean up some of that stuff. Looks like there's some. They try to do, I thought, some tempo today a little bit at times. Completing a play and quickly getting another play off, and it looked like there was some confusion as to where guys were lining up. But overall, I would say that what Mike said at the start of this segment is accurate. We've seen some bad offense in training camp. It's only 2 days, but I haven't seen really bad offense in training camp yet.
Yeah. Bad football, not the
limited bleep
pieces.
that will get you beat.
Right.
How's the kicker looking?
There was some question on a couple of the last kicks.
A little windy today.
Very windy.
Yeah, I think the wind affected both of them. I think they both missed their last attempts, but it was kind of hard to tell. We were far away. Could you tell, F?
No, I had a.
They didn't have anybody underneath.
Plus, you don't care.
No, they
I'll leave that to Bart.
You always it's like
You
study-
should have seen how into
Barth
it he was.
like, I need to get to the
Anybody
bottom
get
of this
that?
right now.
Anybody get that?
I'm gonna run.
It's pulling the whole thing.
During the spring, they would run to get underneath the goalpost. So that
I think
could,
they were both 3 for 4 today, but their first
He'll
kicks.
have it. Him and Brian Hines will have it. I know.
Oh, the trajectory, the launch angle,
Man.
the exit
Well, he
velocity.
already has hang times on Bryce Barringer.
So I will.
Punts today,
I will say this, because you know me, I have to find something that I'm not happy with. A couple, I think, they both attempted 4 field goals. 2 of Borregalis's didn't look right. One of them he made.
Yeah, it was the.
But it was that
10 to 7.
Ball was rotating sideways thing. That's not good.
A knuckler.
And there was 2 of them. 2 out of his 4.
How's the operation looking?
The operation is something to keep an eye on. You get a rookie long snapper, and
That's like a sneaky thing to me that no one cares about.
I
but,
just thought, I'm like, oh
Joe
yeah, that's
Cardona
right.
was really good at his job for almost a decade, and then they moved on from him and drafted a rookie long snapper, and it will happen once, that it will matter because it's not like it's going to be like a whole train wreck.
Ev, you're right. They had a veteran long snapper for years and years, and Lonnie Paxton, who you never had to worry about. And then when they moved on from him, they drafted Jake Ingram, and it was an issue. He wasn't great. He didn't last long.
Cycling through guys Tucker Addington was one of them. I think was one of the names.
Tyler in
Sean
Ludlow
McDermott,
writes in at
Not the coach.
podcast@patriots.com. He says, first of all, congratulations to Evan on his marriage.
Thank you.
I'm writing in to take an early victory lap on an email I sent this spring. I wrote in asking about thoughts on drafting or signing a UDFA fullback and specifically mentioned Brock Lampy because he was from my alma mater, Northern Illinois. Evan scoffed at the idea of discussing a fullback because he preferred getting another email asking if Will Campbell's arms were long enough or if any wide receiver ones.
Getting a fullback? Me?
Can I step in before you finish reading that?
Sure.
I'm going to guess that I scoffed.
There's no way.
Evan thinks that McDaniels' offense, in that offense, you need a fullback, and he's fully expecting a fullback to be on the roster. I'm going to guess that I scoffed at that.
All right. He says, it looks like Lampy is in the driver's seat of getting the fullback job, and I'm looking forward to having a Husky on the team finally. Well, we'll see about it.
I agree with 90%.
I might pump the brakes a little, but he's in the mix. He's in the mix.
I want to see who gets cut.
Yeah.
I want to see who gets cut. I'm not going to lose my mind over it now, but I want to see who if they cut a good player to keep a fullback, I'm not going to be happy.
There was one play today where the formation, I'll just say, I was very excited. I was like, this is exact, and it's funny because
Power eye right.
no, it was
22 lead.
it was empty. It was a passing formation, but they kind of inverted the formation, and I knew I saw the.
It's like James Devlin running out to
I want to say I don't know if I should, and then it was great. It reminded me of good times of like Brady. He would see it, right? Like when you would put the fullback or the running backs out wide, those are coverage indicators. Like, do they follow them with a linebacker or do they stick the corners outside still? And when the corners stay outside, you usually know it's zone because the corners wouldn't normally cover the fullback. So like when you do that, you can kind of give an indicator to the quarterback of what the coverage is, and Drake May saw it right away, saw that the corner stayed out there, knew it was zone, took the profit. I was like,
Yeah.
Josh is back. That's it.
Couple other just headlines for me. I know you guys might have talked about no Carlton Davis today after PUP.
We haven't talked about it yet.
Back,
no.
and it seemed like Barmore still on a little bit of a count himself, which, as we said, across the roster,
we did talk about Barmore.
It seems like that, but a little disappointing. That I know we were like, well, did Carlton Davis fail the conditioning test or what? Like, I don't know. Maybe there's something else going on, but it's just disappointing.
Yeah, I just would just a quick clarification. He opened on NFI, and that's why I sort of wonder why he opened on NFI.
Because he wasn't NFI. He wasn't eyed earlier in the spring.
Right.
Right.
And then
he could be sick.
Yeah,
He
Barmore
could be as simple as that. Yeah.
Barmore was off on the side field at one point. It looked like with the trainers going like trying to test whatever was going on with him. So Jeremiah Farm saw a lot more time today.
Yep.
As a result, but that's definitely noteworthy with Barmore.
Yep, something to monitor. Alex in Raleigh, North Carolina. I saw a video where Bertrand and Zoe, one of Paul's shows, were watching practice on the first day, and Bertrand made it seem like Kyle Williams needed a red jacket already. Like, I'm excited for the kid, but can we get him on the field in a game before we start giving out jackets? I appreciate your analysis that is realistic, honest, and not overinflating the good and really digging into the bad. Truly the best show covering Patriots.
Well, thanks for the compliments, but sarcasm is obviously lost on people. Because I heard the clip with Beetle, with Beetle and Zoe, and
that sounds more like Beetle to me.
they were over the top. Negative first on the offensive line on purpose. Like, oh my God, this is a disaster. And then like, well, we got a receiver. Like they were like screaming. But
I mean, that's
neither one of them were meant to be taken
I actually,
fully seriously.
I kind of like he made 2 catches yesterday.
Yeah.
Everybody made a big deal about the one on Gonzo because it's Christian Gonzalez, an all-pro corner that he's making the play on. I actually like the other one better. Because the other one, to me, was showing that juice and that explosiveness after the catch with the ball in his hands that I'm hoping that he's going to bring to the offense. I'm not really
lockstep with Evan Lazar. I don't know if I've ever done that.
I'm not really like expecting him to go out there in an NFL game and start boxing out corners. Like, that's just not. He's a 5'10", 185-pound speed receiver. Like, I just don't think that that's his game. But he came across the shallow part of the field on a little drag route. And Robert Spillane was on his horse, and Robert Spillane could not get him. And
he ran away from him.
Yep. Yeah, and I was like, all right, that's the juice. That's what you're hoping he's going to bring.
I wonder, is he going to start to push Kayshon Boutte at that X spot, and can he bring that element Evan mentioned earlier in the show of explosiveness and downfield threat that clearly dangerous with the ball in his hands, but just also like just seeing how Diggs looks like Diggs. I mean, it doesn't at all. I mean, I think they were managing him a little bit. He had some reps where he came out. But even still, I think he just looks ready to go. And it's fun. It's fun having a good receiver. Everyone can make fun of me for that one for sure. But
I'm trying not to get too excited yet because he looks awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's early.
I mean, a couple of those catches today. I mean, well, it was he had couple there in the first series, but still, he's just that's what he is, that precision route running, and pop, 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 smooth, looks good.
855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Let's go to Nate in Connecticut. What's up, Nate? Nate. 3, 2, 1. Nate is gone. He'll call back if you want.
He's in camp right now.
He's in class.
Christian in L.A. What's going on?
Yeah, you guys know what's going on. First of all, Mr. Paul, thank you guys for having me on the show. How the heck did I try less? I literally, you guys tried too hard.
Your phone's breaking up, unfortunately.
Oh, I don't know if you guys could understand.
Did you understand what he was saying?
Not a word.
Oh, man.
You guys hear me?
No, your phone's breaking up. Call back. Sorry about that. Randy's in Providence. What's
Maybe
up,
if you had
Randy?
a little more money, you could afford a better plan.
Hi, how's it going, guys?
Good. You got a good connection. Thank you, Randy.
Okay, good. Glad you can hear me. So I've been thinking a lot about the concept of Drake May kind of breakout year or what his advancement might look like. And I think that it wouldn't be like a statistical production thing where he's like, puts up 4,000 yards or whatever like that. I think it's more of a limiting mistakes, learning to read defenses. I think
We're having some issues
Yeah,
with the
you're
phone.
breaking up too. I don't know. Are you on a speakerphone?
No.
No?
Are you at the bottom of a well?
Yeah, you're kind of like
I
a little bit underwater.
I got it. Like he was saying that it
Thanks,
not
Randy.
necessarily like Drake May's breakout might not necessarily manifest itself in statistics like fantasy football stuff, but it might be more of like the intangible things,
Consistency?
like consistency, clutch, leadership.
Yeah.
Actually winning games.
Nate's calling back. What's up, Nate?
Come on, Nate.
Hey guys, can you guys hear me well?
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, so sorry if I disconnected earlier. That was my fault. I accidentally hung up. But my question for you guys is, what have you seen out of Milton Williams so far? I guess a lot of people say he was only good in Philly because of the monster D line that they had. But I feel like that's not true. I feel like he's a really good player. But what have you seen out of him during training camp? Is he as advertised, or is he just another guy on the D line?
I mean, it's so hard to tell at this point, Nate. Especially
No
with an
idea.
interior guy. They're not going full speed. They don't have pads on. So to understand what his strengths would be at this point, it's hard to know. And then the knock on him, it was, yes, like Nate said, he was surrounded by such a great line with all that depth.
he wasn't out there all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
I noticed him a couple
we'll,
times.
We'll see.
Part-time player
Yeah.
and surrounded by
Talk to me in
immense
October.
talent. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree with Fred. I can't tell you what his strengths are right now because we haven't seen him really play.
I mean, I'll tell you what I like most about him so far is how Mike Vrabel said he's the consummate professional and is here all the time, and he seems like a serious football guy. Seems like he's not a guy who got paid and now is just going to coast. He seems every bit as intense as he was, you know, when he played for Philly. I noticed him more yesterday. I felt like the ball was coming out a little quicker today with short stuff, so it wasn't as much chance. I mean, it's sometimes just randomly you practice, like guys catch your eye here and there, and something might catch you guys' eye that didn't catch my eye, which doesn't mean it's not true, but there's just, there's so much to watch at once. That's what makes football fun.
Right.
All right, we're going to take a break. My food's here. Just want to remind you again about Brunt Workwear. They're based right here in New England. They make work boots and apparel that are built for the job site. Their gear is comfortable, durable, named after the real workers in the trades that helped design it. You can even try Brunt out on the job. If it doesn't blow you away, they let you send it back. Save $10 on your first order at bruntworkwear.com/Pats or with coupon code PATS. So get your Brunt Workwear. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this.
Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money. Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
All right, guys, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Yeah, that was good. I think some coming out here, we're kind of the stuff that we kind of major in the spring, stuff that we know. Still some stuff to clean up, I think. Pre-snap, communication, cadence, trying to kind of use that to our advantage. But I thought we made some plays down the field. I thought the guys up front fought. It's hard to block without pads, but I thought they did a good job. And I think just come out here each every day, just try to build on it.
And what's the throwing session in Charlotte? How did that come to be? And how important was that for you to establish yourself as a leader on this team?
I think it's something that you miss those guys for a month, and you just want to get back, get a refresher for them, whether it's route wise, play wise. I think the most important thing is just bonding together. I think getting the guys together, going out to eat, having some fun, getting some work in, and I think it was glad that those guys came out and showed up.
The crowd really reacted to your first completion and stuff. What was that like?
Yeah,
Must have heard them.
It's good to have him out there. I mean, he's a good player. He made a lot of plays in this league. Thanks to the fans out here for showing up. I wish I could sign everybody. I think that's what makes the league go. These fans, coming out here on a whatever day it is, Wednesday. We're in camp now. Who knows the days? But coming out here and supporting us and being here for us in the hot and the heat, and I think that's what makes it go. So it's fun to be out here and make some plays.
Did it catch you by surprise? Well, all of a sudden you throw this little pass, and all of a sudden they react.
Nah, it's one of those things you figure. Just like the first catch in the game, I'm sure a home game we get a big roar. I think that's what you want. You want guys that the fans like, that they want, and I think there's a lot of roars for a lot of different players around here.
Drake, there's so much talk about you taking that jump in leadership in year 2. How much is that Mike in your ear encouraging it versus just kind of letting you naturally get to that point?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he does a great job of kind of giving me kind of points where I can improve, or points where, hey, maybe do this. I think he's also kind of let me go and kind of see where I'm at. And I think it's kind of a challenge for me to kind of lead this football team and lead this offense.
Drake, your second training camp, how much more confident are you than your first
Yeah,
camp?
It's a lot different. Kind of coming here, know what to expect. That's what I was telling the rookies earlier. It's going to be a kind of whirlwind. You're kind of scrambling from period to period, and next thing you know, you're up against the defense and some full speed plays. So I think just take your time, enjoy it. Take the time to watch the film, and I think more than that, just have fun. I mean, the plays, just don't overthink it, and I think just play instinctive.
Drake, you're learning the offense. How close do you feel you are to kind of mastering the system that you've been?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a while, I think, to master something at the level that some of you guys played at. So I think I got a long way to go, but I think I like where I'm at. I got some more stuff to improve on. I think it all comes with facing defenses. I think you can master it. Hey, what are these guys going to do on the route? I think there's a different kind of level when you're facing different, versus this coverage, what are you going to do? And I think there's a different level to it that I think that we're kind of need to tap into.
How comfortable are you with the base stuff?
Yeah, the base stuff. I feel good. I mean, I think it's more of a judge of how I play today. So I think we moved the ball well. I threw one ball which I had back, but they played a good coverage for what we had. So I think it's just one of those things where you learn from it, and try not to let those defensive guys get me.
Drake, what's your level of excitement?
Kyle Williams.
Yeah, Kyle. I know he's backside one-on-one with Gonzo. He made a big-time catch. Strong hands. I told him to maybe sell a little more. Just try to give him a go route feel. But I think he's coming along. He's looking good. I told Gonzo later I'm gonna come at Gonzo. I'm not gonna backside. I'm not gonna leave him out here bored at practice. So good for a rookie to make a play like that, and I think he's just gonna get better and better.
Drake, what's your level of excitement coming into year 2 now, and with Vrabel and with the vibe around here?
I think it's awesome. I think coming out here and kind of a reset. Everybody feels good coming into camp. I think it's kind of, you get a tester, you get a feel when you come with these practices and these joint practices. You get a real feel where you're at. So I'm excited for where this team's going. I think we've got some more work to do. Get in shape. Kind of small details offensively, but I like we're kind of day one where we're at, and I think we got some more work to do.
What about working with Stephon Diggs? Is that exciting for you?
Yeah, anytime. An all-pro and a player like that. He made some plays out here today. It's awesome being able to throw to a guy like that, and even when you feel like he's not open, he's gonna go make a play for you. And kind of tight coverage, he's strong receiver, gonna make plays. And I think it's we got a bunch of those guys in the room that are kind of earn their role and find their role.
Do you have some trust already sort of established with Diggs, just based on what he's done in his career, Drake, or is there still a long way to go there?
I think there's certain players that have trust right when they come in. Garrett Bradbury and Big Mo up front. Guys like that have been in this league, played a bunch of starts. Mac Hollins, Hunter Henry, those guys, you trust. Trust is basically it's me kind of earning my trust for them. Is really sorry. Sorry. It's me really kind of earning their trust and kind of making them feel like, yeah, they can trust that guy back there. I think those guys already have it built in with what they've done in this league. So.
And in your second year, how much will it help you knowing what joint practices are about, knowing what the preseason games about, to help you get what you need out of them?
I think it's a huge help. That's what the biggest thing is. They say your rookie year is just one like. After your rookie year, you're just like all the rest of the guys, veteran-wise. So that rookie year is different. You don't really know what to expect. You're coming around here, and I remember the Eagles came out here, and I was in a drill, and a Mike blitz came, and I was under center, and he basically was unblocked. So little things like that you kind of learn as a rookie that things don't happen like that. And I think coming into year 2, hopefully, will be a kind of bigger stride for me. Kind of take the next level to playing, kind of chess match with the defense. And then we got some good teams coming here that we're playing and enjoy practicing. We're going, we're coming here against Washington, and we're going up to Minnesota. So 2 good defenses and 2 playoff teams. So.
Greg, how much of a leadership role do you see yourself taking this year in year 2? Are you comfortable stepping up and being more of a leader, not just with the offense, but with the team as a whole?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm trying to be. I think that's something you got to earn. I think it's something I come in there every day. Work hard, play good in practice. I think that's a big part. Take practice seriously. I think the practice translates to the games. It's hard to get, this simulation. It's not basketball. You can't go get shots, open 3-pointers. There's nothing like being in the mix of it with a lot of bullets going. So, try to earn, kind of earn my stripes in practice, and then from there, just try to go on and hopefully win some games. And I think that'll help.
You said you're
always working on. Final questions, guys. You're always working on stuff. What's new in your toolbox this year?
Working on stuff. I think. Just kind of remaining a passer longer when I scramble. I think that's big. Kind of getting outside the pocket, remaining a passer longer, hoping some big plays, scramble plays, and just making the defense. I feel like I had good times last year where I had some guys deep that I may have missed them or took off running instead. So just try to remain a passer and just keep trying to work on footwork. I think that's the big thing. New offense, new play actions, new concepts. Just try to time it up and get a good group. So,
Drake, you said you were excited about the prospects of this team going forward. What excites you most? Is there something specific that you can point to and say, this is going to be good?
What excites me most? I like that question. I think you got guys around here that are tired of losing around here, and the guys that want to win. I think that's what excites me most. We guys want to win around here. I think the past 2 or 3 years around here, and the past year for me, I can only speak for myself, but I think there's guys around here that are tired of losing and want to win. So thank you guys. Thanks.
And now, great moments in history.
Evan lecturing Tamara about local cuisine? Didn't he eat McDonald's in Germany? No, that was me.
I did not eat McDonald's.
That was Tamara.
Yeah,
I did eat McDonald's.
I was
in
going to say,
Germany.
that was actually Tamara. Tamara and Alex and Matisse, right?
I had McDonald's twice in Germany.
Don't throw me in that category.
Wait, did you go to
Five Guys?
Five Guys.
We went to Five Guys.
I didn't go there either.
Oh
No.
Mike and I went
Okay,
to Five
wait,
Guys,
wait,
but I
wait.
also had the schnitzel.
Wait, but I will call out. I will call out Evan on this. He was too good for German coffee. He had to have Starbucks.
That's true.
Well,
I do recall that.
That's
I immediately texted Beth and said, "Oh, you'd like Evan."
That's true. But I
put Starbucks.
I'm sure it doesn't surprise anybody that I am a food snob.
Yeah.
That's
food.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Well,
it doesn't surprise anybody.
Patrick in Ottawa thinks I'm a food snob. He says when
I agree.
When Fred speaks of food, it's with such snobbery.
Yes, there's no question.
That he
nails it.
He channels the soul of Eric.
You tell everybody, don't get this, get this.
Yeah.
This is the better
I
one.
prefer Peacemaker Fred. Yeah.
I feel like Fred and I are on the same wavelength, but he does it a little bit more than I do.
He's worse than you at it.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I
Smashburger, like before
Smash
Smashburgers became the Tavern Burger. That's the one. That's the one.
That's
You're
the one
wasting
you
your
want.
time with the Whiskey River barbecue.
No mayo on it. Don't put mayo on it.
Yeah.
Mayo will ruin it.
Who puts mayo on a steak?
I don't know, but that's Fred's always telling you not to put mayo on something.
That's another great moment from
All right. Back here on Patriots Unfiltered, it's Deuce, it's Paul, it's Evan, it's me, it's Matt in the booth. Just want to remind people, or if you don't already know, that there's a raffle going on. It's called the Road Trip Raffle. You can enter to win for your chance to travel to New Orleans as the Patriots take on the Saints on October 12th. One lucky fan will receive 2 tickets on a private charter to the game, tickets to the game, hotel accommodations, and much more. Enter for a chance to win for just $10. All the proceeds benefit the Patriots Foundation. The way to enter and way you purchase your ticket is go to patriots.com/community and look for the road trip raffle. And join us in New Orleans, me and Evan.
Yes.
We'll say hello to you.
Food snobs. New Orleans is
You guys got
Some
your
good food in New Orleans.
great food.
Yep.
Great
Crawfish.
restaurants in New
What do you
Orleans.
What do you get down there? What's the crocodile?
I think they do.
You
like-
get your beignets.
Yeah, beignets are big, but the restaurants down there are supposed to be incredible.
French food.
I have to credit Eric. He took us. He didn't pay, but he took us to a restaurant that created the Bananas Foster.
Oh, okay.
So, like, when you have your dessert, they come right to the side of your table, and you got the fire going with the pan, and they make it right there, right next to your table. It was delicious. It was delicious.
It's making me hungry.
Yeah.
We just had pizza time, actually, because I don't know if you guys ever heard of that place, but they had some
Fire?
leftover pizza.
That's a
from
Michelin
yesterday.
star
Pizza time?
Pizza
establishment.
time. It was, yeah. So we had.
Who ordered pizza?
It was leftover from yesterday.
That was
from the
yesterday. It was
Giant
leftover
order
from yesterday?
It was in the fridge. It's
Yeah.
not-
Oh, pizza's
All right.
good.
It's
All right. No,
refrigerated.
I didn't. I thought maybe you just took it off the table.
I'm sorry. I'm a little bit thrown off because I didn't realize I was sitting in a sopping wet chair
I
from
told
Mike
you.
Onwenu.
So it finally soaked through.
He
When I
actually
stood up, I'm like,
apologized
why
when
is
he
my
got
whole
up, and I said,
pants
"Don't worry
wet?"
about it. That's
It's
Deuce's
Deuce's
seat."
So no, but honestly,
We need the rubber
it's-
sheets.
It's not Mike's fault because he just came off the practice field, and we appreciate that. So we'll just have to make note that when we get players off the practice,
I wrote it down, but I'll get some rubber pads for the
yeah. No, seriously, we'll do that.
Pretty sick.
The rubber.
Did you see Ted Karras on Edelman's podcast
I saw
talking
some
about the
clips of it.
towel?
Oh no.
The baby powder
Th-
incident.
This has been written before, but Brady with centers would make them put a towel in their pants because Brady didn't want the sweat dripping
Yeah.
all over the ball
Ball
and
might
all over
slip,
him.
right.
So he put they had
Spends a lot for those manicures. You don't want to
Yeah, and apparently Ted Karras didn't know when he was like a young player rookie, and Brady did it on the sideline. Pulled his pants down on the sideline and put the towel in his pants for him. Right,
Sounds like Brady.
right in the front of Ted Karras, like in front of 65,000 people.
Who was the guy though that was just notoriously bad sweater? Like he
Stork?
started it.
Stork?
Was it Stork?
I don't know. I don't know.
It could have been.
Paul knew a lot about
Yeah,
Stork.
there was one guy who was just like
One of the few bad guys
he would
that
soak
has
through.
made his way through the locker room.
Is he
True.
sweaty?
And I don't know what he's like in real life, but in the locker room, he went out of his way to be unfriendly and
Like
Yeah.
really
out and out
nasty.
rude.
Confrontational.
Yeah. But I heard off the field like he's coaching football
Couldn't
now.
tell ya.
He seems like people like him, but he was mean to us and just out of his way to be mean. Yeah, it was-
and not just it wasn't like an us thing. It was
No, no,
everybody.
Everybody. He must have been especially happy after everyone was blaming him for tipping the signals in the 2015 or 2013 AFC Championship game where they said Von Miller was getting off the ball in like 0.5 seconds because they seemed to know the snap count.
Oh, another guy who like was mean to some people, but was really nice to us was Ferret Collins. Remember him?
Who?
It might have been before your
Oh,
time.
Ferret Collins was mean to me.
Oh, he was mean to you?
Yeah.
Oh, he was nice to me.
He was
I know
very
that
mean
person.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ferret
He was a defensive lineman.
Yeah. How was he mean to you?
Told me to haul ass.
Oh, well, he does that. Yeah.
He does.
Haul
He
ass.
does that.
It's funny because usually
Remember him talking about Ed Duckworth?
It just came out of his neck.
Yeah, so
I
Ed
think
Duck-
that was Henry Thomas.
No, I think that was
I'm
Ferret Collins.
confusing
But
it.
anyway, Ed Duckworth was like this old time scribe, like
yeah.
the old crusty guy, and smoked cigarettes.
He's the one that dubbed me Sunshine.com.
Yeah, all he would do was smoke cigarettes and drink coffee. So like his breath
It
was
was-
always
it was those little cigars, those peyote
he's
cigars.
Like, he's like, man, that guy's breath it stinks. It comes out of his neck. It's awful.
It was.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I always feel like offensive linemen are generally like some of the most talkative, friendly, amiable players in the locker room. You know, Dr. Z, one of Dr. Z's book that he wrote, he's like, always go talk to the offensive linemen. They know what's going on. They're always usually happy to talk to you. But I guess Brian Stork was the exception.
Erica in New Hampshire writes in, new listener, first time email. My boyfriend's been listening for a while, and he's a huge fan. Well, thanks.
Excellent.
I'm calling out Sean from Pennsylvania. So
Oh,
first
holy gosh,
time
coming in
emailer,
hot.
immediately listener on listener
Throwing the
crime. I
gauntlet
love it. Calling out Sean in Pennsylvania for his too much Julian Edelman take from Tuesday's episode. Respectfully, Sean, there actually wasn't enough Julian Edelman in episode 2 of Forge in Foxborough. They should put more of him in. Actually, you can replay his catch from Super Bowl 51 for 45 minutes for all I care. Played all 12 seasons with New England. retired a Patriot, was inducted in the Patriots Hall of Fame. What more can you ask for from the guy?
I'm with Sean.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm with Sean.
Can we show like the Cam Chancellor one a little bit more?
Ooh.
Like the 51 catch is awesome too, but like the 49 catch is maybe just as good. And that he gets his bell rung by Cam Chancellor and just like hangs onto the ball, and like I feel like that's a great catch too. It doesn't get enough love.
You could probably easily make a video, top 10 Julian Edelman third down catches in the playoffs. Like just simply that.
In Kansas City, just
I mean, there's easily 10 of them. I mean, I can think of like 5 of them right off the top of my head.
I mean,
you know?
I just think that like there's two ways of looking at it. We're trying to do some stuff, and I understand we get, we're listening to everybody's voice that's talking about the team. This is about this team. This is about 2025.
Yeah.
So I don't need to see like his catch in Super Bowl 51.
Yeah. You were there.
Oh, I think that was fine.
No. I'm not talking about the documentary. Like the fight back on Sean here. Like, yeah. Like, I mean, should we have Tom Brady on too? Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
I want to know. I mean, at least with Brady, in fairness, as I'm correcting myself, he played with Vrabel.
There
Like,
you go.
I don't know. We've had greatness walk through this building and achieve great things, and I think it's to hear their comments on. I think is always something that we shouldn't forget about.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Jules a draw, no matter what.
Let's see. Who's this? Dinner plates. He calls himself. Wow, Mike is big. Not you,
I was
Mike
gonna
Onwenu. The desk couldn't contain him. He made you guys look like Oompa Loompas. Even the pre-2025 2-liter before picture Paul would be a snack to him. I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but he's like a thoroughbody Clydesdale.
I know. He's actually an NFL offensive lineman. So.
Hence the name Big Mike.
He's also not even the biggest one. And, like, I mean, he's the widest probably, but like in terms of like Morgan Moses is a bigger guy.
Yeah, put the other rookie on there. What's his name? Marcus Bryant.
Marcus Bryant.
Monster.
It's like 6'8", right?
Yeah.
Let's get back to the hotline. Sean's in Virginia. Hey, Sean.
Look, how you guys doing?
Okay.
Good. I just want to respond to Paul's when it comes to a level of optimism. I think that's reason for great optimism because I think when you factor in that if they can get great, at least they can have a great confident offense. I think that can allow the defense to get much more rest. Because I think the thing that goes under the radar is that the reason why sometimes the defense has been bad over the years or whatever is because they spend too much time on the field. At least when you had Brady, had a confident offense or whatever, defense was able to chill on the field or off the field for some time or whatever. But it's like in recent years they haven't really gotten that at times. I think that if they can get that this year, I think that I could win 11 12 games. That's just me.
Okay. Thanks, Sean.
Complementary football.
Yeah.
In all three phases to help each other out.
Parcells used to say it's giving each other hope.
Yeah.
The defense gives the offense hope, and the offense gives the defense hope.
I agree. Both sides need to improve on that from last year. The offense needs to give it over less. The defense needs to turn it over more and feed into everything that Sean just said.
And the punts, you got to have the punts be good.
Yep.
You got to
Barth?
have wield the field position battle.
Yeah, have the other
It's all
team's defense tired in the fourth
all
quarter,
three
not
phases.
yours.
Right.
Sam's in San Francisco. What's up, Sam?
Hey, guys. Just a quick question here about the running backs. I know it's hard to gauge when they're not in pads, but I really thought Antonio Gibson outplayed Ramondre for most of the latter part of last year. I thought he really should have got more touches. But do you think we were holding? Do you think we got 4 guys on the roster now, or we keep 3? I know we got the rookie with some juice that everyone's been talking about, but what do you guys think the plan is?
Think of Brandon?
What the plan is.
The plan is. What the plan is.
I mean, there's like
with all the running backs.
I'm not sure who
Thanks,
was
Sam.
talking about the running. There's like 7 running backs or something like on the roster, right? I mean,
if you count Lampy,
I would count them all. Like if we're going to say they're on the roster, I mean, for some reason we say that they have a crowded wide receiver room.
Right.
If we're going to count them all that are on the roster,
I know.
Like Terrell Jennings should count. Lan Larison should count. Antonio Gibson and both Trevions should count.
There's 3 running backs on the roster, maybe 4.
I think you're trying to decide, does Ev's boy Lampy count in the group? And is that 3 plus a fullback?
He counts with the tight ends.
Does he count as 3 plus a fullback?
Yeah.
Or does he count, or does he not have a job and then you have to add a tight end? there's a lot of different ways that you can build a roster.
Yeah.
And I think it's way too early to try
But,
to
the wide
forecast
receivers
that.
get the attention, but there's 91 guys on the team right now.
Right.
All the rooms are crowded.
Yeah, and every team around the league has roughly the same amount of players at each position group because
Yeah.
it's kind of like paint by numbers. This is what you do as an NFL. You have a lot of offensive linemen. You have a lot of wide receivers. Wide receivers you need because they run more than anybody else during the course of a practice. And you can't just like grind them into the ground. It's almost like pitchers in baseball. Like not the same guys can throw batting practice every day. You got to have different arms and you have to have receivers that are fresh.
Right.
My guy John Giles still continues to show up, by the way.
I would say that they have 3 running backs right now that are pretty near locks. I mean, obviously Stevenson and Travion Henderson are locks, but I would also put Antonio Gibson pretty comfortably on the roster right now. I think big picture, the plan is to have Stevenson and Henderson be like this thunder and lightning combination. They're very complementary, but Gibson, to the caller's point, he had a very productive season on a per carry basis last year, and all the advanced metrics loved Antonio Gibson last year. Yards after contact.
He did play
and all
well
that stuff.
at times. So that's an example. Like individually, you can still play well even when you're in the midst of a bad season. I thought Gibson played better than Stevenson, right as the caller said.
Yeah, me too. I think it's a great room right now. The balance that you have with the rookie, with a veteran, with Stevenson being hopefully the guy that kind of be the bell cow back. It's a really good mix, and we'll see if any of these other guys. I mean, Landler, can he land on the practice squad? Or we liked Terrell Jennings last year. He's still around kicking, so yeah. We'll see how it plays
Harrison
out.
is the one guy that I think is a wild card in terms of but he has to make the roster. Like they don't have to carry 4 running backs.
Yeah.
So if he's going to make the roster, it's going to be because he's so good that they can't cut him.
Yeah, tear it up in the preseason.
Right.
All right, Christian in L.A., what do you got?
Well, what I have is...
There we go.
Hey, thank you guys for having me on the picture show there the other day. But I wanted to point my ire at Paul for saying, I tried too hard. You guys had a guy with a cello, a guy with a dog. Then you had a guy in a fireman's outfit. And I'm sitting in my car seat looking at the camera taking a selfie. And Paul says I tried too hard.
It's because I don't like
you.
I don't like you.
Christian, you have a great jawline. I was impressed by your jawline.
Yes, I don't think anybody else had a studio quality photo sent in like yours.
I was in a car taking a selfie.
Who put together your outfit for you?
It was a Lululemon vest.
Of course it was.
How am I trying too hard?
And there we have it.
It's a good choice.
Paul,
Good choice.
you're drinking the Haterade, and I think you have ice in it, and you probably have a shot of something in it. So, on to football.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. I love you guys, though. I really do love you guys. So yesterday I read on ESPN that we had 4 of the 50 most important off-season moves. The cornerback, Carlton Davis, Milton, that we got, Stephon Diggs, and then Kyle Williams. They listed those as 4 of the most important. 4 of the 50 most important off-season moves. We had 4 Patriots on it. That kind of says what the league is expecting of us, right?
Well, I don't know if
not really.
It could also say that we had more needs than a lot
Correct.
of other teams.
That's what it says to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would put Vrabel as the most important offseason
Maybe
move.
this was just like personnel, like roster.
Yeah, personnel players.
Yeah. So it was just players.
So-
Yep.
My second question for you guys is this. On Will Campbell, it seems like, or would it seem like he would want to be closer to his defender since he has like a sort of short arm problem, and that would show up if there's more space between them, right? Guys can get around him. So shouldn't he line up closer to the line in general?
I don't know. I don't know about that, but
Typically speaking,
I just thought he was a little bit further back than he should have been. But again, it could be an angle thing. Thanks, Christian.
Yeah, typically speaking, guys that are a little bit undersized are more aggressive. They want to go get you instead of waiting for you to come back. If you're Trent Brown, you can sit back in your chair and wait and just make guys go through you. But when you're a guy like Will Campbell, you want to be more aggressive and be the one initiating the contact. Exactly. So he's right about that. But I'll have to I was expecting Will Campbell to have some things going on with his stance because his stance in college was a little unorthodox. He never really was in a three-point stance because they were a gun offense and they never really had a need for three-point stance. So there's some things in a pro-style system that might be a little bit different for him.
I came across on Instagram some high school highlights of Will Campbell. It's just like a camp where he was doing drills, no pads, no helmet, anything. Just you've all seen those drills, and man, throwing guys to the ground, standing in guys' faces. I mean, he was not intimidated in the least by anybody. And I know it's high school, and now he's in the NFL, so clearly he was an elite talent at that level. But it's just fun to see little Will Campbell, as a youngster, still playing with that same attitude that we saw out of him at LSU.
Yeah. So if the question was asked, what's the one thing that's an obvious question going into this season that you're most confident about having a positive answer eventually? To me, it's Will Campbell.
I mean, for right now, I'm feeling pretty high on Drake May's development. I mean, and I don't want to overstate it because it's so important and it's so hard to do. And I'm sure even if he has a great season and gets off to a great start, there's still going to be some ups and downs for him. But it all starts and ends for him, and right now I feel positive on him. And if that works out, then I don't know how much the rest of it.
What are the things that we're most concerned about?
Well, the wide receivers. Like, are they going to have?
I'll pick that.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a good one too. I mean, Diggs.
Like, you think it's going to work out?
It'll be okay.
Okay.
Because I think Diggs looks like he's pretty comfortable. He's going to be pretty healthy week one. So you're going to have that guy that slots everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a lot. Milton Williams, will he be able to play full time? Because
I don't know if that's
I don't worry
like
about
a huge.
that.
It's a question.
Yeah.
It's a question.
Yeah, that isn't atop my list. I mean, I think he wants to, and the fact that you have Barmore there, it's not like it's Milton Williams or bust. Like, you have a good guy to have a rotation. You'll always have someone who can have an interior presence like that. But I don't know, Paul. Would you say is Stephon Diggs the number one?
Yes.
Is he a weapon?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, a guy who has like 1,500-yard seasons to his credit is a weapon. He is absolutely a weapon. For this offense, he's without question the number one receiver and a weapon. Now, you could get into Paul semantics if he's a number one on any other team at this stage in his career. Doesn't matter. He's a Patriot.
Yeah.
No, but come on. He's a number one.
No,
guy.
I'm busting your
Right?
chops.
I mean, I'm not being stupid, am I?
But I think in relation to that, though, it's really, as I said earlier, with Williams and Booty, like, how much do those guys contribute? Does Booty take another step? Does Williams really blossom? And then, maybe you do find a complementary piece to
I have an observation about Booty.
Booty?
He's a slow starter.
Oh,
I don't notice him early in camp.
Yeah,
this is 3 years in a row I haven't.
He caught the first pass in 11.
Yeah, he's out there. He starts with Diggs and Douglas, and I don't see him as much as I see other guys.
Do you think a part of it is that outside role
But
that
I
they have him
noticed-
play is about goes and comebacks and
You're
not the
expecting
quick
to get
stuff,
a lot of
know?
targets as the X and Josh McDaniels.
Right, that's what I mean.
No,
That's what
unless
I
you're
mean.
like
no,
Randy
I'm not.
Moss.
But
Yeah.
I kind of agree with Mike. I thought that Williams looked like he was in that role
Yeah.
when he comes in.
Yeah.
Most
and
of the time.
he's gotten some. Maybe they want to target him. Maybe it's one of those deals. I don't know.
Yeah, I just, with McDaniels, like, I think the term that gets used a lot is the sacrificial X, and it's like you're just there to occupy the safety and put a deep element to it because we're actually trying to throw the ball in other places. But I think my biggest concern just with the team overall right now is just depth. I think they did a nice job of getting the frontline starters into much better shape than it has been, and I feel a lot better about the top of the roster than I have in recent years. But you start looking at some of the position groups, and today with the corners, like Carlton Davis wasn't out there today, and now all of a sudden you have like Alex Austin and Marcellus Dial, and like those guys are playing a lot, and are they ready for that?
Yeah.
At right tackle, if Morgan Moses isn't what we think he is, or is hurt, or now Trey Jacobs is back out there, or it's Caden Wallace, or it's Marcus Bryant, and do they have enough to withstand the injuries that are inevitably coming?
That's my biggest question. But I thought Fred made a good little twist on that. Like, what do you feel the best about the questions that will be answered positively?
Yeah.
And I think the wide receiver one, I'm not telling you they're going to have.
To me, Drake and the wide receivers.
They're
It's
not going to have a
connected to me.
great situation. I'm trying to come up with something that's like a major. Like, the offensive line is a major question. Depth is a major question overall. I don't know how big of a question, like Milton Williams, can he really play full time? You know, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if he can or not, but I guess that's a major question.
I mean, I
don't know.
all of
It's
this-
hard coming up with one that I definitively think is going to be answered positively.
Yeah, I mean, I tie all this to kind of what we talked about earlier about the right tackle position, which is I'm trying to hold out some hope that some of these depth pieces actually might be able to be solid depth pieces and not, you got to get through this year and really figure out who the Vrabel guys are, who the holdovers are that can actually carry over from previous regimes into this regime and still carve out, a significant role. So that's why I think if you have some of these guys that you're surprised that you weren't really counting on, and I'll just use Jacobs as the example because we talked about him earlier. But again, suddenly all of a sudden it's like, whoa, he's suddenly doing pretty well out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but there are other positions along the roster where, Alex Austin has had solid ends to the last couple seasons. Battled injuries, hasn't been able to put it all together, but does Carlton Davis have some kind of lingering injury? Does he get more of an opportunity? He steps up, and now all of a sudden it's like, okay, we've got another young corner now that we can try to keep around and provide some depth. So it's a great question, I think. And I got asked the same thing when I went on the Sirius radio yesterday. And I know. I'm making the rounds.
Sirius radio. Who were you with?
My boys all grown up.
Fantasy
Bob
one.
Papa?
So no, it wasn't a big show. I don't think. I
Was
I
it
don't know.
Hardy?
People call
One
it.
of
I asked-
Hardy's shows?
It was his music show. He just asked me about music the whole time. But they asked me the same thing about where is your biggest concern on the top, and I'm like, there isn't really top line concerns. You kind of know who the guys are out there, and you hope that they play well, of course. But really, the question are the depth, the sub packages. How do the wide receiver snaps get divvied up? Those kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have a playmaker question. Do they
Yeah.
have enough firepower on offense to really compete with the top teams? But to Fred's question earlier, I think all those little things are going to figure themselves out just fine. I think Will Campbell's going to be just fine. I think Milton Williams is going to be just fine. The only question that I have is when they do get injuries, and they will get injuries, do they have enough depth behind some of these guys to withstand it? And be or are we going to be in November and December and it's at tackle everybody got hurt and now we're on.
Well, if everybody gets hurt, few teams have enough depth.
Their starters got hurt and now we're on Trey Jacobs and Vidarian Lowe again and here we're back on the bus.
It's not everybody. I agree with Evan. There are a couple of guys that if they got hurt would be borderline disastrous, and it's not everybody. But if you lost 3 guys out of what he's talking about, one of the tackles, one of the corners, and Spillane, that'd be really, really impactful. Mm-hmm. That's not a lot of injuries, but it's 3 very specific ones.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Because I just feel like they had to get back to level with the roster this past offseason, and they did a nice job of that, but they haven't built enough over years, right? In order to really build up the whole 53, it takes 2 or 3 years to really have that.
Well, it's they went into free agency and got some of their guys, but they haven't been able to develop their kind of guys to round out the roster.
I hear you. Yeah. Nathan is in Monterrey, Mexico. Says, I opened the show on Monday and imagined my excitement when one of the first topics to come up was the 2002 season. My heart skipped a beat as Fred told Paul, we'll talk about that later. We got an email about it. My email was about to touch the hollow lips of Kirsch, was about to echo in the halls of Patriots podcast history. I was about to have sarcasm and snark directed my way by Paul, some self-deprecating jokes from Mike, even fond reminiscing about his days as a young fan by Evan. And then 2 hours and nothing. As time wore on, I realized I'd been teased by Fred Kirsch. My email was not going to be read. Anyone else who has experienced this religious experience can understand and relate to the ecstasy felt. I have been blessed. I will die happy. P.S. I really am interested in an answer to my question about the 2002 season. And I do remember that, and I apologize, Nathan. We get sidetracked. But his question was, what happened? They won the Super Bowl in 01, and then in 02, I think it's one of only 2 years that Brady didn't make the playoffs.
Tiebreaker, right?
And I think he led the league in passing touchdowns. Is that right? So
he led the league in touchdowns, despite not really being good until 07.
I love how Paul can bring it to that.
I know. It's always this argument that he's been having.
No, but I mean, Paul. The thing Paul's always said to me, because I've asked him these asking questions, was they couldn't stop the run.
That was a big problem with that team. They brought in some guys. Steve Martin was sort of the poster child for it. He was a great, great guy. He played some nose tackle for that team. Great talker. Wasn't a great player. Didn't really play all that well for them up front.
Washington comes in the next year.
Yeah, that shows you.
So they recognized the problems. And back in that era, running the ball and stopping the run was far more vital to a team's success than it is today. Not that it's irrelevant today, but it was really, really important. I remember the third game, the team started off 3-0, and then they ended up finishing 9-7, very pedestrian. But the third game was at home here against Kansas City, and Priest Holmes ran for about 185 yards. They just couldn't stop him. Could not stop them on the ground. It was a shootout. I think the Patriots ended up winning in overtime, but like 41-38 or 38-35, something like that. They just couldn't stop the run. It was kind of as simple as that.
Kind of reminds me of the 17 opener when same thing. Chiefs
Kareem Hunt
ran all over them, and you were like, uh-oh, and that was. We got to the Super Bowl, but a sign of these teams going to struggle to stop people.
That was my first experience with trying to understand tiebreakers. Like in sports, like I was like 9-10 years old at that point, and my dad's like trying to explain them, but I'm like, but they have this, like the record is good enough to make the playoffs, and he's like, they didn't make it. And I like kept refreshing. I remember like the CBS Sports line or whatever it was. I was like, but I don't get it. Like and it was like that in 08, right, where they missed out on tiebreakers in both occasions.
Yeah. 08 was really unlucky. I mean, the 08 team went 11-5. You should make the playoffs at 11-5. 9-7, you kind of leave yourself vulnerable to a tiebreaker. But 11-5, it was just one of those years that it was sort of an outlier that 11-5 wasn't good enough to make the playoffs.
I think it's one of the only teams that missed the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that there's a Denver team. I remember being so sure that no one else had ever not made the playoffs. Yeah, no one's ever made it. And Andy was like, says here Denver didn't make it. Well, son of a bitch, I don't remember that.
Corey in Connecticut, been a Patriots fan since the Bledsoe days and a diehard PU listener since 2020 season. Absolutely love the show. Look forward to every episode. Just wanted to say the Guess the Listener game was one of the absolute favorite things you've done. Hearing all these callers every week, you can't help but create a mental image of what they look like, and it was so much fun to actually put the faces to the names. I played along and got 7 out of 10 right. Better than me.
Oh, that's fun.
Way better than us.
Christian in L.A. looked as smug as one might imagine, and I knew immediately it had to be him. Ford in Savannah and his look of whimsy totally had me fooled. I thought he was James Pettigrew. Can't wait for the next edition with Patty from Agawam, Jack from Ann Arbor, and more of the faithful PU listeners.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Have those emails still been coming in? People sending in their pictures?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's fun that people could play at home. I didn't even think of that, though. It's a family game. It's a fun game.
It's a family game.
Everybody can play. Can't win if you don't play.
That's
right. That's right.
Josh in Atlanta writes in, Dear Deuce and Fred, I love you both dearly, but your unbridled trait, Jacob's optimism, won't distract me from the unmitigated disaster that was last year. Per PFF, Jacobs was 38th out of 140 eligible tackles in total snaps, but ranked 137th in overall block grading. Any scenario where he benches Morgan Moses is catastrophic. Also, Christian in L.A. tried too hard in that photo submission and in every one of his many nauseating ventures.
See, I'm not alone.
Like
I'm not alone, Christian. Everybody's saying it.
It felt like a photo shoot a little bit, like he had
some
wondered,
lights.
Definitely lights. He had some lighting.
It seemed
lighting in the car.
seemed like maybe a ring light. Like there's a lot of light.
He's an influencer on the side.
Right. He understands. Yeah.
He's gonna call back in, I think.
I want to hear from Miss Iceland. Like what happened?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And what do they do in Iceland?
She living in the greater Niagara Falls area?
Well, the funny thing about it is Iceland is the one that's more green. Greenland is the one that's more ice.
I've heard that tale.
Did you know that?
I've heard that tale. Vikings, very smart.
Do you know you drive on a parkway and
you
park in
on
a driveway?
That's
What's
true.
the deal with that?
Yeah. That's actually a Stephen Wright.
It's a Stephen Wright.
Yeah.
Which one's the one that's James Bond goes to? I think it's Iceland.
Oh. I'm not a James Bond guy.
Really?
I thought for sure you'd be a James Bond guy.
Halle Berry?
Hi.
Come on.
Really? Me?
Yeah.
Oh, James Bond is one of the all-time great franchises.
I would totally agree with that, and I would also tell you in the same breath that I've never seen a single one.
What?
Never,
Oh my God!
Never a single one.
I mean,
he doesn't like action movies.
That's completely
He's
untrue.
a rom-com guy.
Matter of fact,
He likes
Gladiator
Jaws.
was on. I watched it for the 4,000th
Gladiator.
consecutive
James
time
Bond's way better
the other
than
day.
Gladiator.
Yeah, but you think
Now
Gladiator's a
I'm
love
mad.
story?
Now I'm mad.
Gladiator is like
Oh, so good.
too
Great soundtrack.
too chauvinistic for me.
I mean, are you not entertained? I
Well,
mean,
it's kind of like the way it was back then.
Is this like Shakespeare? Like,
That's what I think of that take.
like you never seen Skyfall? Never seen
No.
Casino
Great
Royale?
movie.
No.
Great movie.
No,
Never
I
saw
saw
them.
like the Roger Moore one in like the 80s. And
Those are one of the worst
Wait, wait, wait,
movies.
wait.
Living Daylights.
The Roger Moore one? He was
There
in a
used to
lot
come-
of
yeah.
them.
Sorry.
multiple-
The one that I forget which one it was. but-
Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die is probably his
Moonraker?
best one.
That was
Maybe
that was
Moonraker.
the
That was
best
Roger
one for
Moore.
him.
Maybe
That was his
Moonraker.
best
What,
one.
Live and Let Die?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely saw the Living Daylights at the Cape Cinema in Dennis for sure. I remember that clear as day.
The
Timothy
boat-
Dalton, very small.
The
run as
boat
James
chase
Bond.
scene in Live and Let Die is legit.
Yeah.
That's like, and that was like back then, like that. You know, to be able to put something together like that, and you have Paul McCartney on the soundtrack. And
Yep.
great.
Sean,
Great
like
movie.
you're like Sean Connery. You got them all. You're like James Bond.
My father
25,
is
you
the
got it
biggest
all?
James Bond fan
Really?
I've ever met.
All right.
And
well, he
so-
must have like read the books and stuff down, right? Like, he's, like, loves it all.
I've watched.
And he would agree that Brosnan's the best Bond, right?
Pierce Brosnan?
Pierce Brosnan? Really?
Best Bond.
Is that fact?
It is in this guy's book.
See, I can't comment on account of I didn't see it.
I think Craig is the best.
He is
honestly.
very good.
I mean, a lot of people think it's blasphemy to say anybody but Sean Connery.
Yeah.
But
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Roger Moore is like that's his era. You know, like she's a little too young for Sean Connery.
Yeah.
It was like the '60s, so he was a youngin. So like Roger Moore, like Live and Let Die is probably his favorite. Bond.
when I was a kid, I had the toy Aston Martin car that it would shoot little things out the front. The bullet shield would come out in the back. You know, doors open. It was really cool. And then I had a James Bond briefcase.
Oh, yeah?
That you open it up. It had all the weapons. It actually shot a missile out the front of the thing. Like nowadays, like they would never sell this because you know kids would be getting killed. But yeah, I had the James Bond briefcase.
Doing
and-
like the Kirsch, Red Kirsch.
Oh,
Man with the
I
golden
love
gun.
James Bond.
No.
Man with the golden gun. That was Sean Connery.
Golden Eye.
No.
Goldfinger.
Goldfinger was Sean Connery.
Goldmember.
Like
Saw that one.
the worst one, Roger Moore, when they had that giant guy and he
Jaws?
was on the space station.
There was a guy in
Jaws.
Jaws in it.
Yeah.
That is correct.
It was awful.
I'm in for this now.
That was awful.
That was awful.
Awful movie.
We gotta
Terrible.
get some
Oh,
James
you guys are
Bond
really,
screening.
you guys are really selling it. That was
no.
awful. This one
There
stunk.
were
He
like-
was the worst Bond.
There were like
I think the worst one was Honor Majesty's Secret Service. The one it had the Bond only did it.
that was the first. That was the first Bond. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He was a one and done. Yep.
Maybe it's like a franchise thing. Like I haven't really seen a lot of like the Fast and Furious. And,
No, I saw the
like,
first one, and then
I'm
they
thinking
just kept
about all
coming.
of these like action kind of franchise things, and you might be right.
Yeah.
Like
It might
Jurassic
be-
Park. I said we just saw Jurassic Park. I'm like I missed
I've
like
seen-
6 Jurassic Parks. I think
I've
I
seen
don't
some
know.
of Jurassic Parks though. I've seen like the first couple were worth watching.
And like the Marvel movies, like I've like, and then the DC movies, and like it's just so much.
We were talking
Now
about
Fred would be right about my criticism. I don't like the superhero movies.
We were talking about that today because somebody asked me if I had seen the new Superman or Fantastic Four yet, and I was like, to be honest with you, like getting kind of tired of it. Like there's been a lot. I know Matt behind the glass right now is like gonna kill me, but like there's a lot.
And you
of
could do it in a variety of ways too.
Yeah, right.
And
There's a
everything-
lot of superhero movies. Like, can we take a break? Like, can we?
And it's
can
so
we
like,
take
and it's so
a
like, this is
pause?
going to set up the next 12 years of film. Like everyone's
Yeah.
trying to do what they did with the Avengers,
Right.
and then trying to have their version of it, and it's just.
See,
you get
that's
lost.
why I love The Boys on Prime because it was a whole new take on superheroes, and it was just so irreverent. It was
That movie
great.
is ridiculously over the top. The Deep is like one of my favorite
Oh,
characters. Like just
he's
so
such a
funny.
loser. He's
So
such a loser.
Funny, I love it.
Oh,
The Deep.
The Deep. Yeah.
There's too many.
His girlfriend's an octopus.
Or like the bit with the whale too. They had some big
Oh,
book,
yeah.
a whale where like a whale dies. I forget.
No, the
But,
dolphin.
The dolphin. Yeah.
He-
And
he's trying to save it. He kills it.
yeah.
Oh, he's such a loser. Bart in Poland writes in, Fred, don't worry, I forgive you for not recognizing me from the picture.
I was waiting for that.
But honestly, considering how many Guinnesses were involved that night, I would have bet on Evan being the one to forget.
That was a fun night. There were quite a few beverages.
Funny.
Yep. Phil in Vermont writes in, excited because for the first time ever, I'm coming down for joint practice.
Oh, let's go.
As is often the topic when it comes to the joint practices, it's intriguing to see the teams come together, observe player performances, and evaluate who's excelling and who isn't. My question is, what do you know about the relationships between coaches during these joint practices? Are coaches generally open to experimentation and collaboration, or are some more secretive and reluctant to delve into the details? No, I think
the first one.
Yeah, I think they plan these joints because they have a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, you always are, I really respect Coach. Blah, 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 blah.
They usually talk. They'll talk
That's
like
good.
before the practices, and they'll go over the script together of like what exactly they want to hit and what they want to work on. Now, in terms of like what plays they're going to call, I think they keep that close to the vest to anybody. But in terms of the script of practice and situations like are we first, second down, third and long, red zone, like all that stuff, I think gets talked about.
You said at the top with Moses, they know what our plays are, they know our cadences. I mean, just to get to go against another team that it's more of a level playing field against that defense. They're a little, and it's better preparation. You can see why the coaches enjoy it. I mean, I don't think we've mentioned it too. I mean, it does seem like they're going to do 2 with the Vikings. I mean, we've gone back to 1. Last year was 1. This year, 1 with the Commanders, but it's going to be 2 with the Vikings. To me, I just wondered, is that, a sign of just trust between Kevin O'Connell and Vrabel, that it's not going to be like we were in Green Bay when the first 8 plays of the second day of practices were all fights. It was bad.
Claire,
Those Packers.
Claire writes in, hello, Maureen, hello, everyone. She said,
Hey,
Fred, on
girl.
Her Majesty's Secret Service, it wasn't the first Bond. I stand corrected. It was Midway, but George Lazenby's only movie, and it was one of the worst ones.
That's good.
So I got that right.
Claire's British.
Yeah, George
Weighing in for us.
Lazenby.
Yeah.
And she agrees with you. She says, Maureen, you're right. Brosnan did the Bond best.
So I
And
think
he had the best Bond girl of them all, Denise Richards.
I thought you were going to say Halle Berry.
The world is not enough.
If we're being honest, I really feel like it's Daniel Craig, but like all the OG Bond fans, like my dad would never say it's Daniel Craig because it's too nostalgic for them to say Connery or Roger Moore. But I think in terms of the movies themselves, like his movies were the best. Like Skyfall is
Craig's? Oh, yeah.
an awesome movie.
I've seen pieces of those. You know what I like about Daniel Craig, though, is that he looks more like a villain, right? But he plays a good guy. Doesn't he have just the look of like,
Well,
he
see,
looks
if you
mean,
read the
he
books,
looks like
if
a
you
mean.
read Ian Fleming's book, Bond he had like the devil side to him.
He's on the line.
Yeah.
He does some things that you are not on, like the
Interesting.
Not to the letter of the law.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. He was, straddling that line.
I just like when actors play against
almost Father Fred-esque.
Yes. Yes.
Willing to push the envelope when need be.
But he has to do it because these villains are like super villains.
Right.
So the only way he's going to bring down the villain is if he kind of toes that line.
That's a good like button for some of the series in Father Fred. Is like when he goes to confession and there's like a certain priest that he always goes to that knows all the dark secrets. And then, like, maybe he gets kidnapped, and Father Fred's worried, like, it's all going to get out, all the sneaky stuff.
He has to go to the 83-year-old, like, staunchly Irish Catholic guy.
I go into confession, it's light out, and then at the end, it's dark out, because I've been in there that long.
Father O'Shaughnessy has to hear Fred's confession.
Father O'Shaughnessy's been kidnapped, Fred. Yeah. We've got to find him. It's episode 201.
Yep.
201?
Yeah.
Wow, we've hit it big.
Oh, yeah. One of the syndications.
We're all millionaires. We got those syndication dollars.
Season 10. Yep. Joe in Vermont, the other emailer was correct about the Kirsch betrayal. I need more Salt and Pepper shows because that's the only time my emails get read. Remember Salt and Pepper? Remember they came here?
That was Evan and me.
Yeah.
Like the Salt.
Oh no!
Like
we had a listener who came in with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And they were like Salt and Pepper.
I thought you meant like the music.
Salt and Pepper.
Yeah, they've all left us.
Maybe just Fred's presence increases email quantity times 10. In all seriousness, what are the Patriots going to do with the tight end depth if they go into season with Henry, Hooper, and no fullback?
It's another great example to what Paul said. If Hunter Henry goes down, it starts to
Well,
get really
and the other part, roster building wise, yes, we can all say Lampy is on the team. And that would be one of those tight ends, right? Or one of these guys plays his way onto the roster. And there's a handful.
Westover, G. Scott,
Westover,
Dupree.
C.J. Dipree, G. Is it G. Scott or
G.
G.
Scott.
G. Scott?
G. Scott.
G.
Jaheim Bell.
Jaheim Bell, former draft pick.
Yep.
If one of these guys has a strong camp, and there's going to be opportunity because Hooper's
driving the boat.
at least out for now.
Yeah. He's not driving the boat. I'm sorry.
I knew you were going to make that joke.
It's what we do.
I was going to say we can't let down the audience.
What are you doing, Hooper?
Dave in the Philippines wants.
Ain't you watching?
Dave in the Philippines wants to know if we know what's going on with Poke.
Mike Reese had something.
Yeah,
today.
a report today that he had a little stiffness and that they're just being cautious with tightness.
Minor,
In the shoulder?
Minor
I
muscle
guess.
tightness is what it was reported as.
Which is a little strange in the shoulder, but I mean,
well, he had
being precautious.
Not really,
but
I guess he passed his physical. Is all Reese reporting this, but he passed his physical, but then was trying to get out there probably earlier this week and felt some tightness.
My arm, it's broken.
Oh, my arm. Mark's in Connecticut on the hotline. What's up, Mark?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi,
Evan,
Mark.
I just left with the Robin, the Red Robin. I was just at training camp today, and I got to go over and say hi to Alex Barth before he got on 98.5. That was cool.
Nice.
Sorry for that.
So, did you have a good time today?
Red
Had a very good time. Evan, what did you think of the Travion Henderson wheel route with the explosive speed that the kids got?
Oh, kid's got great speed.
Yeah, he had catch in the flat today where he scooted a little bit after the catch with it. I mean, you can see it.
He floats.
Yeah, obviously that's one of those guys that for McDaniels just finding ways to get him the ball in space. Like you don't want to force feed it, but
He's going to be unlocked.
Yeah, you got to.
What was your favorite part about camp today, Mark?
Meeting Alex Barth, of course.
Of course.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, I got to talk to him, but actually I got to say hi to Caleb Burton and Steve Burton.
Oh, right. Wow, the Burton family. Great. So, did you get any autographs or anything? Try any food?
No, I'm actually going to go meet Bob Douglas at Kowloon's on August 13th.
Okay. You got a date with? All right. Sounds good. At the Kowloon up in Saugus.
He's doing a
Not my way.
Yeah.
He's doing a meet and greet there.
Okay.
The Kowloon?
The Kowloon.
Maybe
All
you'll
right.
see me. That sounds like a good.
All right. Well, thanks, Mark. Thanks for checking in. Mark was at practice today.
Get some Saugus wings.
I got to go back there. I haven't been there since, I think our
God, I can't
our
remember the last time I
college,
was
like the week of graduation, you do all kinds of events, and I think that was the last time I went there. We went whole class of '99 went to Kowloon.
It's like it's a big deal. Like they have like Andy Wong's like all over the place.
Yeah.
Like
Jack in Ann Arbor, I've read every one of Ian Fleming's Bond books.
Cool.
Bond was an assassin, a cold-blooded killer. He was also a highly educated, refined English gentleman. Sean Connery was by far the best Bond, and it's not even close. I could explain it in excruciating detail why that is, but we don't have time.
he was fantastic. But to be consistent with my take on Jaws, his movies were obviously came out a very long time ago, so it's a little bit of a different level of.
Did they not hold up?
James Pettigrew, the most interesting Patriots fan in the world, and probably our closest listener to James
Bond, absolutely.
said Brosnan was the best.
Yeah.
Craig is too emotional. He needs to smoke some weed. And P.S. is the only U.S. call-in number, the free phone one, can't seem to connect.
Oh.
I don't know.
Pierce Brosnan was very good.
I would like a book recommendation. I'd like to read a James Bond book. I'll do that. If anyone, I guess.
Start at the beginning with Casino Royale.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
There you go. It's also a great.
You're leaving me, Mike, huh?
What?
I'll be the only one that has no interest, no knowledge.
Well, I'm interested in the books. I mean, people say it really describes the character, and I mean, I kind of have a, not preconceived, but I have a notion of what James Bond is based on the handful of movies that I have seen. So,
who was the character, Robert Ludlum's book, his famous spy character?
Jason Bourne?
Oh, Bourne.
Yeah.
Bourne. Did you
Bourne
read those
Supremacy.
books?
I think I did read the first one, but I saw all the movies.
Yeah, well,
pretty
the
good.
books.
Matt Damon taking somebody down with a rolled-up magazine.
I mean,
That
what's
was
wrong
that was pretty fun.
There's nothing wrong with some Matt Damon action movie.
Yeah.
Paul not interested, but also doesn't like.
Oh, Bourne! I saw all of them.
So you like
Identity,
that?
Supremacy. I watched the Bourne. I told you it's not an anti-action movie thing. That's not accurate. It's a little bit of an anti-CGI like superhero thing. That I'm not really interested
James
in.
Bond is not like that.
No. So I'm just saying it has nothing to do with
So
that. I
you
just
weren't
haven't
into
really seen them.
Transformers?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I like the new Superman. Then they try to use They use a lot less CGI and try to make it more practical.
I have seen, nowhere near like all of them, like you. All of the Marvel movies, but I have seen probably double digits, and I don't dislike them. They're just not my thing. I don't have to rush out to go see them, And I've heard really good things about the most recent Superman thing. Everybody that has gone to see it says it was pretty good, worth a watch.
Divided. That's all. That's why it's doing so bad. Politics.
Wow.
Casino Royale's really short, huh? Wow.
What politics?
You should just watch the movie. It's great.
James Gunn making the immigrant comments about Superman drove the fan base in half.
Well, it's funny because
I didn't catch that.
I know what he's talking about, and I'm going to choose to stay away from it because.
Randy writes in. He's from Providence. What I was saying. We couldn't hear him. Was May's growth should be about limiting mistakes, mirroring the Tom Brady plan years ago, where he wasn't asked to do a lot, just not lose games and learn to take what the defense gives him.
And you guys made fun of me when I pointed out that he led the league in touchdown passes in year 2.
Well, he just didn't lose the game. He managed it.
Right. Yeah. Just managing games, leading the league in touchdown passes.
That was a long time ago, but Josh Allen had a similar growth arc. Last year, there were only 6 quarterbacks with a worse interception rate than May's 3.0. Richardson, Jameis Winston, Will Levis, Kirk Cousins, Gardner Minshew, and Mac Jones. Learning to limit mistakes is definitely something he needs to work on. Speaking of that
part, I agree 100%.
Did you hear that Justin Fields got carted off today?
Yeah, he's okay.
Oh, he's okay?
Like toe. Dislocated toe, not considered significant.
Okay.
To which I say,
The hysteria over it was hilarious.
Meow. You get carted off with a dislocated toe?
That could have just been like their practice facility. It's like it's a long walk.
Yeah, I'd have to see it to make a definitive announcement.
I think that was Twitter like way overreacting to something that was ended up being.
Sounds like people weren't really paying attention. All of a sudden, the quarterback went down, and they were like, "Oh, he's getting carted off."
Yeah.
I like the way of looking at that, though, for May, and not focusing on, we need you to be Superman. Just the baby steps, clean it up, play consistent, take the profit, and if we get in a situation or a game where we need you to do something special, hopefully you can do it. And
right.
You don't have to put the pressure on you to be special. Just execute the
I agree with everything Mike just said.
Yeah. Not to, compare him to Mahomes, but like, I feel like that was like sort of Mahomes' evolution more than Josh Allen's. Like now Mahomes just does just enough to win the game.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't run around as much as he used to, and he's not throwing bombs all the time like he did early on in his career. Now he is a very, very good game manager.
So I would just say, in terms of statistics, I don't really care. I don't think Jaden Daniels' statistics were eye-popping last year. And I'm just calling him up right now. He completed 69% of his throws, which is that's a pretty high completion rate for a rookie. 3,568 yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 picks. His stats are pedestrian. 100 passer rating nowadays is like 20th, right? But what did he do in the situations that Evan's talking about? He was the reason they won.
Yeah.
So, yes, he doesn't have to be Superman for 17 games for 4 quarters. But he might have to be Superman more than a half dozen times when it counts.
Yeah.
That was Tom Brady. And by the way, that was Tom Brady in 2001. When the game needed to be won, he was near perfect. Almost always.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter in Denver notwithstanding. Right?
Yeah.
That's what separates these guys. Jaden Daniels didn't just light up every team he played last year. Now, this doesn't also give his rushing totals, but Drake May's going to have good rushing totals too. He had great rushing numbers last year. What does he do when the game's on the line, and can he keep those turnovers down?
There was that game.
How cool is he under pressure?
From Daniels last year where he threw the game-winning touchdown to McLaurin and just like put it right on
That's the one I was just thinking of. That was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, it is like under like a game-winning walk-off type of touchdown and just drove him right down the field and then threw an absolute dime.
But I'm even thinking early in the year there was a game against Cincinnati. I want to say it was like a Monday night game or a Thursday night game, and Cincinnati just kept scoring and getting within a score, and the fourth quarter, those hard first downs that you have to crank out. Fourth down, they go for it, he runs for it. Third and long, they throw a deep pass to McLaurin down the side. And they put the game away with a touchdown pass, beating the blitz. They sent everybody at him.
I think we're talking about the same play.
Those are the individual moments where games need to be won. Yep. How do you play? That is Superman. Again, the stats don't tell you he's Superman. 25-9, that's a really good rookie year. It's a really good rookie year. But it's not anything that I would say that, there's no way Drake May's going to go 25-9 this year. Of course he could.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of that is like where you're most confident about like Vrabel. And I feel like Vrabel is going to put a much bigger emphasis on leadership and clutch and knowing what the game needs when it needs it, and like not so much about making highlight reel plays that they're going to put on Drake May's melt when they show him on SportsCenter, but like more so like all these other little things that we're talking about. And I feel like Vrabel is already sort of trying to hammer some of those things even in practice.
It's a great comment, Paul. And this isn't exactly what I mean, but it's like special is intangible almost. And you can look at the guys who throw the most touchdowns and throw the most interceptions, but really the trait that's going to define greatness in the NFL at the quarterback position is, do you perform when the game's on the line and win those games?
Like, let's not make this out to be like if we can get just a nice game manager who stays out of trouble and avoids mistakes. That's not what we're looking for. That's not enough. I'm just speaking for myself. That's not enough for me. Yeah. They took this guy with the 3rd overall pick. I don't want Trent Dilfer. I don't want to win a title despite the quarterback. I want to win a title because of the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And that will remain to be seen.
Yeah, don't lose the game in the first 3 quarters and be ready to win the game in the fourth quarter.
And that's like the line that they have to balance, because like in order to get the turnovers down and stuff, he's going to have to be a little bit more conservative, but you also don't want it to be a detriment where it's Trent Dilfer, right? You want to still have that balance of him being able to go out and make plays.
And I love his aggressiveness going down the field. It's something that stood out to me last year in camp. Like, he just
I hope
doesn't
they don't
hesitate
take that
to
away
uncork
from
him.
I'm a little.
Yeah.
I am too.
Kai James writes in, I know you all might be tired of the uniform conversations, but you're failing to highlight one major issue with the Blueberries. I myself want the Dynasty uniforms back, not only because of the silver on them, but because of the number lettering font. When they changed the unis in 2020, they changed the lettering and numbers to a more straight-looking font. Look at Edelman's 11 from both. You will notice they removed the bottom stand under the number 1. Likewise, the last name lettering looks much more boring without the traditional Patriots font bordering. I feel as if that is a sneaky underlying reason why we don't like them.
Who was that from?
Kai in Kentucky.
Kai's my peeps. I totally
agree.
agree.
Or he calls himself Kentucky James.
It's such a nerd thing, too, but like I even just really like the font that they had for the nameplates on the Dynasty uniforms. I can't explain why, but everything he said, I get it.
Congratulations, Mike.
The blueberries just aren't good. It's okay.
Yeah, no.
And I don't think, and I can say that because I don't think they're going to wear the full blueberry anymore. I think they're going to do blue on top with silver pants. So I think we're away from that. But the look of the one color from, it just wasn't
too much
good.
blue.
Yeah.
Too much.
All right, listen. That's going to be it for this edition of Patriots Unfiltered. We've got practice tomorrow. So we'll be out there, and you guys will have your wrap-up podcast right after that.
Campcast?
Yep, so you'll have that. Same thing on Saturday. There'll be another practice on Saturday, which we'll be at. Players are off on Sunday. And then we'll be back at it on Monday with a live show from practice, first day of pads, and we will be there. So until then, everybody have a good weekend. And as far as this show, we'll see you Monday.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Deuce. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us wherever you get your podcasts, like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else that we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.